Da, 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 da. Because apparently the Sesame Street theme song is in my head. Oh shit, let's put chat on screen. Ba-bam! Do 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 do. Hello, Margate Tree Bark. Hello, Hello Kitty Vomit. Hello, CL's Brimming. You changed your name. How are you guys? Is my mic too low this time? I can put it up more again. I know I did do that last time. I have the pinball song in my head. The pinball song? What's that? Also, CL, welcome back. It's been a while. Hello, Boo Schools. Oh god, I'm so low on weed. Fuck. I haven't shown you guys this. My weed container. It's Nightmare Before Christmas. I got it from Spencer's. The little pumpy can on the top. I got the smaller cow one too, but I keep using this one because it's just bigger. This is a specifically not targeted topic stream. I will get into a little bit of a synopsis of the situation in case anybody isn't clear on it or doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about. But we're gonna be watching EmuEmi's response video that she's put up a couple of days ago. 1, to boost it because it needs more views. 2, because it is a well done video. 3, because the girl deserves to tell her own story. And 4, I've always believed Emmy, and I still do. So yeah. So for those who don't know, EmuEmi is her screen name, I guess. They're hey Luke, what's going on? That her YouTube channel is under, or I guess that, where's my grinder? Other people know her by. I've never actually spoken to the girl myself. Like I've had messages that were passed to her when I was talking to KP about the Saber Spark video. Anyway, so she's the one. Emmy is the one who was assaulted by Saber Spark. And yeah, sure, I could say allegedly, and I'm sure someone's gonna jump down my throat for saying, you didn't say alleged. Well, that's because I fucking believe her, okay? Like, I don't believe it's an alleged assault. I believe it's a fucking assault. Watch the swearing, Courtney. No! So, Emmy is the one who was assaulted by Saber Spark, and he turned around, Saber Spark's response was to turn around and say, no, she consented, and I can prove it by showing that we've talked on Skype before. Because apparently, Saber seems to think that somebody flirting with you in messages gives you the right to take their clothes off and stick your penis inside them. Apparently a lot of people have been excusing Saber's actions by saying there was implied consent. Implied consent's not a fucking thing, alright? I don't know who needs to hear this, but implied consent is not a fucking thing. Okay? And the second we start saying implied consent is a thing in sexual encounters, well then suddenly a lack of no becomes a fucking yes, okay? Implied consent is a very slippery fucking slope to coercive consent. And, well, did you resist? So, no. I thought she consented is not a valid fucking excuse for sticking your dick in somebody. Point blank, period. Implied consent is a thing in contract law. Your body is not something a contract gets to control. So contract law does not apply to your genitals, pumpkin. I don't know who needs to hear this, but implied consent is not a thing. I've not been arguing with Lio Convoy. I messaged Lio yesterday to ask him a question and he answered it, and then we laughed about Patch. Like, no. I'm not arguing with Lio. I got booted from his server by one of his mods because one of his mods believes implied consent is a thing, and she didn't like that I said, no, it's not. She said, yeah, it is, sent me a link. I said, honey, that's contract law. She says it can be applied to sexual situations as well. I said, if you're a rapist, sure. So she took that to mean I was calling her a rapist. Facetiously, because she knew full fucking well that I wasn't calling her a rapist. The bitch is in college, okay? She's not that stupid. Then went on to say that, oh, if me and my partner use implied consent in bed, does that make us both rapists? Now let me clear something up. Enthusiastic participation is direct consent, okay? Your partner enthusiastically participating in the things that you've initiated without a conversation is direct consent. That's not implied consent. That is direct fucking consent, okay? If you go to stick your fingers in your partner and they open their legs and go, yeah, that's direct consent. That's not implied consent. Okay, Pumpkin? So when you and your partner are using clear, reciprocation signals in bed, that's not implied consent. That is direct consent, okay? A lack of a no is not a yes. A lack of a struggle is not an invitation, and somebody flirting with you does not give you the right to penetrate them. Okay? Hi, Nick OD. We are having a conversation about implied consent before we get into a video by EmuEmi, which is her story about what happened between her and Saberspark. As well as her absolutely tearing Saberspark's defense to fucking shreds, because the man sits there and goes, I have screenshots, or I have conversations that we've had before, and like that's great. Having a conversation with somebody doesn't mean you get to have sex with them. What's another thing that's really interesting, and this will all be pointed out in the video too, but I'm still gonna just bring it up myself, is that a lot of people discredited Emmy because she didn't correctly, verbatim to every single detail, didn't remember the timeline of what happened, on point. So she messed up the details of a few things, the timeline of a few things. So that meant a lot of people turned around and went, you're lying, you made it all up because you don't remember this properly. Yes, like sexual consent. So the funny thing is in Saber's little cope and seethe fucking video, he forgets shit. He gets shit wrong, and I think it's Beckett or I don't know who the fuck was interviewing him. I didn't actually pay much attention to these fucking things because these idiots are stupid. And the guy interviewing him even calls him out and goes, oh, I've seen your private messages, and, what you're saying here isn't accurate to what was shown in the messages. And he goes, oh, well, I may have the timeline wrong. I may have forgotten a few things. So how come when Saber forgets things, he's telling the truth, but when Emmy forgets things, she's fucking lying, okay? Now, I'm sitting here right now being my angry self and confrontational self because Emmy, frankly, in my opinion, gives Saber far too much fucking grace in this video. She should have torn him to shreds. She should have read him to fucking filth. She should have called him the fucking pathetic predator that he fucking is. The fat fucking chud who cannot get laid, and everybody who sits there and strokes his tiny weenie probably look just like him and can't get laid either. So they all just feel bad that the man finally got his dick wet. It just happened to be through rape. Now, again, Emmy gives him far too much fucking grace, so that's why I'm going hard. Now, this video is an hour long, and I'm going to do my best not to interrupt it, because I do think that the whole thing needs to be watched. I think it needs more views. It's only gotten 14k views in 5 days, and given that everybody wanted to capitalize off this fucking story without talking to Emmy herself, or without doing anything with Emmy herself, I think the least anybody who got involved in this situation can do is watch this fucking video. Because she didn't monetize this video, but you know who monetized their streams and videos talking shit about her and dragging her to fucking filth for misremembering her rape? by a bunch of fucking incel men who have never gotten their dick wet before in their fucking life, so they're gonna sit there and be like, well, no, this was a consensual encounter and I'm going to investigate it. Go fucking stroke yourself, you losers. Beckett, Mr. Enter, Cope and Seethe, the rest of you who got fucking involved, who had no business getting involved. When it's funny, because when anybody, like, accusations that have fucking credibility come up, you want to say nothing about the goddamn situation, but, you know, oh, a girl you can attack shows up and you see a fucking weak target, so you're gonna fucking jump in and you're gonna make your bank by attacking a rape victim. Honestly, why does the world have to suffer? And this question is specifically proposed to people like Cy and Beckett and Mr. Enter and Cope and Seethe and fucking anybody else who decided to jump on this fucking train. Why does the world have to suffer because your mother was too stupid to get an abortion? Fuck. Walking advertisement for late-term abortions right there, a lot of them. Anyway, with that being said, Beckett said 17-year-old aren't kids when talking about jar commissioning kids to draw porn. Yeah, that would explain a lot. I mean, that means Beckett would think it's fine that 17-year-olds were getting exposed to, like, child porn in Cy's server. Fucking stupid. Wait, Mr. Enter, I swear to God I've heard that name before. I don't know who any of these people are, and then, like, Saberspark gets fucking allegations and they decide to jump in going, we're gonna be the investigators. Where's your fucking police license? Where's your fucking, like, when did you become, an investigator for the fucking law? Oh, you're not. You're just some fucking dumbass on the internet who needs to sit down and shut up because you've got nothing to fucking do with this. You want to help. You want to be part of the fucking problem. You want to run rape apologia and protect fucking predators. So, like, which one of you wants to put your hand up and admit that you're just like them? Because I'm sorry, you only defend this kind of shit if you're okay doing this kind of shit. You only defend gooning on fucking 17-year-olds because you goon on 17-year-olds. Okay? You're only okay with people fucking showing porn to children because you're okay showing porn to children. Okay? Ugh. I don't want to have kids in this shitty world that won't protect them. Seriously, though. Mr. Enter once said he'd rather get raped than be accused of rape. Well, buddy, I hope your dream comes true. 13 Reasons style. Jesus Christ. Mr. Enter's a cartoon reviewer and he decided to get involved for some reason. Yeah, because he saw his own behaviors getting attacked and said, well, I need to protect this before they come after me, because that's what these people do, okay? When you're going to sit there and not talk about rape allegations ever, or potential predator allegations ever, but the second one that probably matches your behavior gets called out, you're gonna jump all over that shit to discredit the fucking victim. Yeah, honey, that's because you have your own victims and you want to scare them from fucking speaking out by going after somebody else's. You're sick. You're pathetic. You're a fucking waste of space. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. Break it off. That's how I feel. That is how I really fucking feel about these people. Oh, but anyway, enough about me and my opinions. Where is it? Oh, no. No, that's me. That's me. Where's this? Ba-bam! No! Fuck. I'm moving myself too much. Is that it? That's not it. God damn it. Give it back. There we go. I can figure this out. I swear to God, guys. I know how to work my computer. You haven't seen 13 Reasons, and yet you still knew what I was talking about. Exactamundo. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, I'm gonna let this play on its own for as long as I can. I will interrupt as little as possible. That's why I kind of got all my shit out in the beginning there. Again, this girl gives this man way too much fucking grace, in my opinion.
I want to start by saying that the topics I'm about to discuss are extremely sensitive and heavy. If you struggle with topics related to assault and SA allegations, I strongly recommend
What the hell happened?
you turn your attention elsewhere. The rest of you, I ask to proceed only if you are able to listen to conflicting sides of an experience and are capable of walking away and making up your own conclusions. Recently, I took a break offline to gather my thoughts, seek support from professionals, and to work on healing before putting out this video statement together for you all. This is why I wanted to remain anonymous to begin with. Not being believed as an anonymous person feels a lot less personal than enduring a harassment campaign targeting me specifically. Over the last few weeks, I've been put in a pretty difficult position where I've continually felt like I didn't have a choice on coming forward to discuss my personal experiences anonymously. Essentially, when people realized that I was the anonymous person who had a sexual encounter with Saberspark, they were either going to spread misinformation from harmful websites and provide a platform for biased sources, or give me the opportunity.
Sorry, I just wanted to stop and say something right there. I don't want anybody to I don't want anybody to take the way she phrased that right there, because like I said, this girl gives this like Saber way too much fucking grace in this video. I really don't want anyone to turn around and say she called it a sexual encounter and therefore it's not rape. Okay? I know people are gonna do that. There's gonna be so many fucking people who like do not want to believe her and are gonna jump on that, and like pay attention to like anybody who talks about this who you see doing that. She called it a sexual encounter, so it must have been consensual. That's not true.
To come forward.
Her using soft language, YouTube friendly language in this video doesn't downplay what happened to her.
Forward on my own accord and describe my experiences myself. Yes, I am aware of this video. I never responded to it because I felt the video spoke for itself. When I watched it, it made me laugh because of how poorly made it was. The video defends people making pedophile jokes of real children, makes outlandish claims while showing screenshots that prove none of what is being claimed, and the comment section seems to be
What the hell?
Out by those who participated in helping make it. But if it helps, I'll link a document in the description that debunks several things.
Why does that keep happening? Where is
claimed in the video? I wanted to ensure that harmful misinformation about me wouldn't be given a platform claim helping make it. But if it helps, I'll link a document in the description that debunks several things claimed in the video. I wanted to ensure that harmful misinformation about me wouldn't be given a platform, and agreed to establishing my character in an interview so unknowing people wouldn't blindly believe rumors people have been spreading about me for years, that at least most people within the Sonic space already knew weren't true, or it has been since debunked or resolved. So, all that said, this is the reason I'm here today. I want to have a conversation about consent and intimate encounters and talk about my
What the hell?
experiences, which were recently shared publicly, but now I want to share it personally. For starters, my experience was posted and shared without my name attached online a few months ago, where it goes over 2 uncomfortable situations I was put into without my consent that left me feeling taken advantage of. You can read the details here. I really don't wish to tread over them again ad nauseum. In short, I was in an...
Try reloading maybe? That's a good idea.
And talk about my experiences, which were recently shared publicly, but now I want to share it personally. For starters, my experience was posted and shared without my name.
If you guys want me to read these, I'll go back and read them once we're done the video.
Attached online a few months ago, where it goes over 2 uncomfortable situations I was put into without my consent that left me feeling taken advantage of. You can read the details here. I really don't wish to tread over them again ad nauseum. In short, I was in an intimate encounter with a content creator 13 years ago that left me feeling very uncomfortable. Worse, it happened twice, and each time left me more empty. Recently, old text messages were shared in a recently uploaded video where Saberspark shares his side of the story. After reading those messages again, after years have passed past, I want to start by saying this before we dive any further. I recognize that Saberspark may not have fully understood at the time what clear and enthusiastic consent looked like in physical situations, and I'm sure the messages only gave him more of a reason to think these actions were okay. Especially now, I do not believe he acted with malicious intent, nor do I think he is an evil-hearted person. What happened made me uncomfortable, and I want to be honest about that. I have a right to own that experience and my own feelings, but I also want to acknowledge that inexperience and lack of awareness can play a role in how things unfolded, especially in situations like this. To be clear,
And this is, sorry, I'm gonna pause this here for a minute. This is what I mean about she gives him way too much fucking grace. And for everybody who wants to sit there and say, she's just jealous, blah blah blah, she wants to, she just wants to make things up because she's jealous of Saberspark or whatever, why the fuck would she give him an out? Why the fuck would she give him an excuse to use? Why the hell would she not character assassinate him right now in this video? Why would she give him any grace if this was clout chasing? She doesn't think that he's an evil-hearted person. She doesn't even think that he did this intentionally. Yeah, that really sounds like somebody who's fucking clout chasing.
his lack of
Sorry, this situation gets me so fucking heated.
knowledge does not mean I consented to either of the physical encounters mentioned. And like I said in the original testimony, for a long time I blamed myself for being in that position at all to begin with. But moving forward after this video, I hope you can walk away with this lesson. Let it be a reminder to everyone, no matter the circumstance, no matter how much you like someone or how mutual the attraction may be, always ask before initiating anything physical. Consent is not just about intention, it's about impact and active communication. It's about how you leave your partner emotionally after you are intimate with them. I want to address those using my text messages to claim I gave consent or lied about not giving it. Specifically, what those people have pointed out that I couldn't have been assaulted because I interacted with him afterwards, or how I asked for relationship advice, or still just wanted to maintain contact to begin with at all. You can still feel taken advantage of by somebody and still not know how to leave the friendship. You can also
Is the static from me or is it in the thing? Hang on a second. Let me
experience a situation like
No, that's not the one I wanted.
that and struggle with conflict.
That's not the one I wanted either. No, I think my mic just has background static, or at least it looks like it has feedback when I'm looking at it almost all the time.
Specifically, what those people have pointed out that I couldn't have been assaulted because I interacted with him afterwards, or how I asked for relationship advice, or still just wanted to maintain contact to begin with at all. You can still feel taken advantage of by somebody and still not know how to leave the friendship. You can also experience a situation like that and struggle with conflicting feelings about it and still want to like that person. I know a lot of people may have never experienced this, but when you are a people pleaser, you have a hard time A, leaving a situation, and B, stopping it once it's started. This is also not an isolated
Oh my god, what is wrong with this computer?
with something like that.
What just happened? I just jumped. Fuck.
Myself that I have the courage to talk about these things. Going through a few resources on what consent is, then I will dive into how that lines up with my experiences and my feelings all these years later. Following that, I'll address some primary claims from Saberspark's side, and in exploring these elements, I hope you can take away a full picture of what consent is, what enthusiasm looks like, and how not to either be taken advantage of or accidentally take advantage of a future sexual partner. My first and still primary goal is and always was to share my experiences so that others might avoid feeling taken advantage of after being intimate with someone they look up to, and wanting to personally prove to myself that I have the courage to talk about these things. By understanding what consent looks like in different situations and circumstances, you will see why I felt taken advantage of, and then perhaps learn how to avoid these type of situations going forward. The information I'm about to read to you is directly from the raiin's official website. If you're not familiar with raiin created and operates the National Sexual Assault Hotline in partnership with more than 1,000 local sexual assault service providers. Reading off of their Understanding Consent page, consent is an agreement between participants to engage in sexual activity. When you're engaging in sexual activity, consent is about communication, and it should happen every time. While the legal definitions of consent may vary by location and circumstance, the general concept is always the same. Consent is an ongoing process of discussing boundaries and what you're comfortable with. Let's get specific about how consent plays out in real life. There's a lot of things that look like consent or indicate interest, even
Sorry, I had to unmute myself there for a second. So, I just want to say, I think, like, I've watched a good portion of this video. I've saved most of it to watch with you guys, but I think it's a really, really well put together video, and this part specifically, this conversation about consent, is, like, I know the words aren't specifically coming from Emmy herself. She's reading them off of, like, raiin and other resources, but, like, this is such a fucking important conversation to have. Like, honestly, if anybody takes anything from this video, I really, really do want it to be this conversation about consent, because it's kind of sad that it even needs to be fucking had, to be quite honest, but it really seems like a lot of people do not understand what consent is and what consent looks like. And that's terrifying.
Even having someone naked in a room with you is not consent. Consent should be clearly and freely communicated.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Even having someone naked in a room with you is not consent.
A verbal and affirmative expression of consent can help both you and your partner to understand and respect each other's boundaries. Unfortunately, I didn't experience any discussion.
Oh, sorry, one more thing. My last interruption for this segment, I swear to God. Real men ask. So do real women, by the way. They fucking ask. If you're too scared to ask your partner if they're okay with something, or if they're still okay with something, or if something feels good, you shouldn't fucking be there.
Of what either of us wanted out of our encounter, or even if I felt comfortable in the situation. I wasn't even the one to willingly take my own clothes off. She
wasn't even the one to willingly take her own clothes off. And, like, please remember in this situation that this isn't two peers. This isn't two people. I really wanted to get into this convo, but no one will chat to me. Are you not seeing anyone in chat there, Nico? Like, Mark and Nikki have been talking. Do you have it in top chat, or do you have it in live chat? I mean, otherwise, if you're gonna leave, ciao. What was I saying? Yeah, this, like, also remember, this isn't an interaction between two peers. This isn't an interaction between two people of the same age who are just friends or in a shared space. No, this is a content creator and his fucking fan. There is an inherent power imbalance to begin with. She already inherently has a fucking desire to please him simply because she's a fan.
He claims we had discussions of this prior to the event, but provides no proof of this. Consent cannot be given by individuals who are underage, intoxicated, or incapacitated by drugs or alcohol, or asleep or unconscious. If someone agrees to an activity under pressure of intimidation or threat, that isn't considered consent because it was not freely given. Unequal power dynamics, such as engaging in sexual activity with a student or employee, also means that consent cannot be freely given. When you're engaging in sexual activity, consent is about communication, and it should happen every time for every type of intimate activity. Consenting to one activity one time does not mean someone gives consent for other activities or for the same activity on other occasions. For example, agreeing to kiss someone doesn't give that person permission to remove your clothes. Having sex with someone in the past doesn't give that person permission to have sex with you again in the future. It's important to discuss boundaries and expectations with your partner prior to engaging in any sexual behavior. Asking permission before you change the type or degree of sexual activity with phrases like, "Is this okay?" Confirming that there is reciprocal interest before initiating any physical touch. "Are you comfortable with this?" Letting your partner know that you can stop at any time. Periodically periodically checking in with your partner, such as asking, "Is this still okay?" Providing positive feedback when you're comfortable with an activity, explicitly agreeing to certain activities either by saying yes or another affirmative statement like "I'm open to trying," using physical cues to let the other person know you're comfortable taking things to the next level. Consent does not look like this.
Sorry, I wanted to just go back there for a second. Using physical cues to let the other person know you're comfortable taking things to the next level is enthusiastic consent, okay? Pumpkin, that means what you're trying to say is implied consent is fucking not. Sorry. The fact that I legitimately got into an argument with somebody over implied consent and whether or not it's a thing, and they tried to say, if me and my partner use implied consent in bed together, are we rapists? That's not implied, bitch. That's just consent.
Or another affirmative statement like "I'm open to trying," using physical cues to let the other person know you're comfortable taking things to the next level. Consent does not look like this: refusing to acknowledge no, a partner who is disengaged, non-responsive, or visibly upset by the interactions, assuming that wearing certain clothes, flirting, or kissing is an invitation for anything further. There are random moments where he tries to imply other things we did, such as me leaning on his shoulder, that I feel helps build a stronger connection to the idea that I consented to the sexual interactions, something that does not equate to consent. Someone being under the legal age of consent as defined by the state, someone being incapacitated because of drugs or alcohol, pressuring someone into sexual activity by using fear or intimidation, and assuming you have permission to engage in sexual acts because you've done it in the past. People get put into a position where they don't feel like they have a choice, and even after the intimate exchange, you feel uncomfortable, like I did, or even feel a deep sense of regret and shame. There is a power dynamic because you don't want to disappoint the content creator you're a fan of because you're an 18-year-old, fresh out of high school, and don't know how to handle it. Now I'm going to read from loveisrespect.org. No means no.
I'm sorry. And what have I said before? What have I said before? People who constantly go for a younger partner or who targets the barely legal teen is trying to weaponize the fact that that child does not have experience with setting boundaries and saying no. That is predatory. And I understand that Emmy can feel about Saber however she wants, okay? Her feelings are hers to divine and decide on and feel comfortable with. I, however, 100% believe Saber knew what he was doing. He preyed on the power imbalance. He preyed on the fact that she was 19. He preyed on the fact that she wasn't comfortable or confident enough to say no, and he fucking raped that girl. And then he did it again.
And even yes means yes, puts the responsibility on one person to resist or accept an activity. Instead of framing consent as a reactive measure in response to a partner's actions, think of consent as a proactive expression of what partners are comfortable with and want to do together. Understanding consent in relationships using this framework makes sure that everyone is on the same page.
One other thing I'd like to add on top of that. Someone agreeing to let you do something to them versus agreeing to do something with you are two completely different things. And frankly, capitulation is not something you should strive for in your sexual relationships. If the person you're with is not excited to do things with you, why are you there? Why do you want to be there? Why do you want to push further?
Consent means communication every step of the way. Don't just assume your partner is comfortable with actions. It requires a clear and enthusiastic yes, meaning if someone seems unsure, stays silent, doesn't respond, or says maybe, they aren't saying yes. During both physical occurrences, I hardly spoke. I was reacting primarily to his cues as he did almost all of the talking leading up to these encounters happening. When he slammed me against the wall and then pulled me back down the stairs and into the bathroom, I didn't say anything. If you're caught up in the heat of the moment, here are some ways to get a temperature check before going any further. Are you comfortable? Is this okay? Do you want to slow down? Do you want to go any further? What consent does not look like. Behavior like dressing a certain way, flirting, or accepting a ride, gift, or drink is not a form of consent. Neither is saying yes or not saying no, while under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or doing so because you feel pressured or too afraid not to. While yes, I absolutely flirted with him at that time all those years ago, consenting to flirting is not consenting to the actions that would follow later in person, long after the occurrence already happened.
I want to say this a little louder for the people in the back. Consenting to flirting via text message is not consenting to a sexual encounter. It is consenting to flirting is not consenting to penetration. Physically being in somebody's hotel room is not consent for you to touch their genitals. Okay, sorry, Nico, I'm gonna help you out here for a second. If you go to the top of the chat, like, you should be able to see it on my screen here. I'll even make this nice and big. See that thing where it says live chat, that little drop down menu? You're in live? Okay, we can see you. Can you see, like, the chat on screen? Because we've been seeing your comments. Anyway, yeah, consenting to flirting or flirting back with somebody does not give you consent to do anything but flirt.
And I told Saber the sex was good at some.
Keep this in mind too. Like, this is gonna come up again. This is Saber asking, so was I good in bed or no? LOL. She goes, haha, I thought I told you already. I thought I already told you, yes. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm sorry, if my rapist sat there after raping me and goes, was I good in bed, I'm not gonna piss them off and have them fucking attempt to rape me again and maybe have it done better. So, like, no. Yeah, and then there's also he's sitting here asking her, was I good? Was I good? Yet when he talks about the situation, he goes, oh, I wasn't good. I was nervous, and then you'll see.
When asked, because I didn't want to make him feel bad. Saber says it himself in his interview.
See that? The dude fucking violates her, and she didn't want to make him feel bad. Emmy, I'm not saying this to say this it discredits you in any way. You're a fucking saint. My God.
That the sex wasn't good.
I did not tell my roommates that me and Emily had plans to hook up at our hotel room. And it was during the convention when most folks were on the con floor where Emily and I both, holding hands, took off to my room. And we sat down. I was shooting the breeze with her, talking about YouTube videos and projects and her own podcast and everything. And then it went, just mutually, just feeling the vibes of the room, to kissing, and then moved to the bed. And that's where we, had intercourse. Though.
Just the way he talks about that. It mutually just went to kissing, feeling the vibes of the room. Nah, dude. Nah. That is not how anybody talks about a consensual encounter. Either she kissed you or you kissed her. Somebody made the first move. That's how it always fucking happens, okay? And I get that you wouldn't know this, Saber, because you've probably never had a consensual experience in your life. Jury's still out on even if you've even fucked your own fiance. But yeah, that's not how people talk about it when it was consensual, dude. Everyone wants to, jump on Emmy and, victims don't talk about this, that, and the other thing. They don't talk about it like this. They don't talk about it like that. Perfect victim mentality. Well, Where's the perfect victim mentality for Saber Spark? Buddy, if you're fucking innocent, if this was a mutual fucking thing that just happened, then why do you have such trouble? Like, why can't you just say who kissed who first? Who made the first move? Because, like, that's the whole point in calling it a first move, is somebody has to fucking make it. There's sexual tension, and then somebody makes the first fucking move. It's not just like, you both just looked at each other and, like in the movies, you just started making out, like, at the exact same fucking moment. Okay, that doesn't happen in real fucking life. So you're not talking about a real life sexual encounter. And nobody calls it intercourse. Who are you, Sheldon fucking Cooper? And I find it really fucking funny that the dude has, like, I don't know, we haven't even gotten there yet, but the dude relies so much on saying, I have screenshots, I have our conversations, our text conversations, but then he talks about texts that he can't prove happened. Then he talks about texts that he totally fucking has and that absolutely happened, but he doesn't fucking show them. So if you have the conversations, then why are these not in the conversations? Maybe because you're making shit up because you raped a girl? And then this fucking other idiot, I don't know who the hell this is on screen, and I don't really give a flying fuck. This other fucking idiot on screen here is like just slobbing Saber's knob the whole time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Nico.
I was not good at it. I was extremely nervous. There was so many things. And it wasn't that she made me nervous. It wasn't her. It was
Look at that. Look at that. Even gotta throw in a fucking dick. I wasn't good. I was extremely nervous, but like she didn't make me nervous. It's not like she was pretty enough to make me nervous. It's not like I was intimidated by this girl in front of me. Like, can you fucking stop, you disgusting pig? You were probably nervous because you couldn't find your own fucking dick.
idea of someone walking into the room.
The idea of someone walking into the room and catching you violating a girl. You're in a hotel room, buddy. There's another door lock that stops anybody coming in, even with a fucking key. And if this was planned, if the two of you had planned to do this, and you were worried about your roommates who you didn't tell about it walking in on you, why wouldn't you just hit the deadbolt? Because it wasn't planned, because it was a spur-of-the-moment thing, and you jumped on this fucking girl.
I was like, I didn't tell anybody.
This coincides with the statement I shared in the same video where all of this was released, where I talk about my habits of people-pleasing. In another message, you see Saber making advances on me, calling my cosplay hot. Maybe someone who doesn't know what it's like to be in these types of situations wouldn't notice this, but even here, I respond by...
Did you see how many O's were in that hot? There was like 4 O's. You look so hot in that. You desperate motherfucker.
Just trying to be polite. I also want to address the question I've received often. If you were assaulted, why did you continue to have contact with him? This is a difficult and complex issue, one I've struggled with in other experiences of SA as well. It's incredibly hard to process the emotional weight of being put in a non-consensual situation, especially when the person involved was some emotional weight of in other experiences of SA as well. It's incredibly hard to process the emotional weight of being put in a non-consensual situation, especially when the person involved was someone you had complicated feelings for. I liked him. That doesn't always go away immediately after occurrences like that for everyone. On top of that, I found myself blaming myself for what happened for a long time, thinking I was to blame because I had flirted with him and indicated I was interested in him. I know now that being flirty with someone doesn't give them license to take advantage of me or weaponize my interest in them. Just graduating school, I didn't really have the experience to navigate what consent looked like and consequentially felt taken advantage of. Because of all of this, maintaining contact felt like a way to hold on to some sense of normalcy, even though I couldn't figure out why I had felt so terrible after I had, in theory, had sex with someone who I thought I was interested in. Once confronting someone, especially someone you had sex with someone who I thought I was interested in. Once confronted after I had
Fuck? 16 69ing and bananas, a dangerous...
in theory, had sex with someone who I thought I was interested in. Once confronting someone, especially someone you liked, with something like that, you can't go back from that. It makes the situation feel more real, and that is really hard to process. At that point, you can't deny the severity anymore. And my brain was also so focused on how that would make him feel at the time because I had had a history of people-pleasing and not wanting to cause issues for people, which meant I couldn't act on my conflicted feelings towards him. I also want to share this resource that goes over misconceptions regarding behaviors of those who are put in these situations. There is even a really wonderful page that talks about helping understand your responses after the encounter. It goes through misconceptions regarding survivor behaviors.
Hi, Venus. That's because I'm not actually supposed to be talking over. I'm supposed to be trying to get through this because it's an hour long.
After an assault, such as staying in contact with the perpetrator. What I think people hearing my experience have failed to realize is that you can have a sexual encounter with someone, feel taken advantage of, and still want to treat that someone like a human being. Not every person handles these situations the same way, and there is always an expectation placed on them to immediately react in a particular way.
I want to read that, actually. I just want to read this out. Commonly misunderstood survivor behaviors after sexual assault. Staying in contact with the perpetrator. It's common for victims to maintain a relationship or stay in a relationship with the perpetrator due to a variety of reasons. Example, they're still trying to make sense of what happened, get closure, regain control, and or reshape it into something else that is more manageable to process and to neutralize the trauma. Due to social conditioning, women can feel responsible for trying to smooth things over or feel compelled to be nice even if they were victimized. Circumstantial reasons, example, the reality that they're isolated with no financial support. If the perpetrator, for example, studies or works at the same place as the survivor or has power over them in one way or another, the survivor may feel forced to maintain contact. Fear for the safety of themselves or others' feelings of shame Fear for the safety of themselves or others' feeling of shame and responsibility for their own rape. Based on a study in USA and Canada, 23% of victims stated that they had sexual intercourse with their offenders on at least one subsequent occasion, and a substantial minority of female victims continued to date and or engage in sexual activity with their offenders following the offense. Female victims of a completed assault were significantly more likely to continue being sexually active with their assailants than women who managed to block the assault. Because there's this thing that the brain does, and it wants to fucking control things. So, yeah, there is a lot of times where the victim brain, essentially, will say, well, if I go and choose to have sex with them of my own volition, that undoes the rape. That unrapes me, because now it's all in the victim, like, the mindset of, like, when you're being victimized. Now it's not rape. I'm not a victim. I haven't been hurt and traumatized. I just had sex I didn't like. That doesn't make it not rape, but yeah, your brain will do a lot of things to protect you from the trauma of being violated by somebody you trusted.
There is always an expectation placed on them to immediately react in a particular way, think to document everything, and then drag the other person into the town square for public execution immediately after it happens. Not only was I caught up in people-pleasing, which meant I didn't want to readily disappoint anyone, but how I treat people is a statement on me, not a statement on Saber's guilt or lack thereof. You can even see in the messages themselves my habit of people-pleasing, where I literally offer to change my own social media habit.
But you know, I look up to you like a brother. He shows that himself, and he's gonna sit there and say it was consensual? I'm sorry, anybody sat there and looked at these messages and thought it was consensual? Are you kidding me?
To please him. Of course I continued to be friendly with him, and didn't know how to navigate the fact that I felt taken advantage of because of our power imbalance and because I liked him. I really didn't know how to navigate that, but as time went on, I was better able to put my feelings into words and realize that these were not normal physical interactions. To me, it felt so much easier just shoving those feelings down as hard as I could, and just trying to continue our friendship as normal made it easier to not confront outright, apart from just telling a friend or two. It became easier to confront later on once our relationship began to really fade and I was given a comfortable space to process everything. If you read my messages later as the relationship between us began to crumble, you can even see me beginning to confront him with at least some of my complicated feelings, just not all of them. Then to my horror, I learned that on top of all of this years later, he was also defending a friend of his who has accusations of his own through being inappropriate with minors, and the two of them would joke about convention consent.
She's talking about Gabriel C. Brown right here. Gabriel C. Brown, who groomed his wife and sent a dick pic to Destiny Doodles when she was 13, as well as another girl when she was 13. Did we forget about that conversation?
At public events.
I had to give some consent, if you know what I mean.
Oh. Need some practice, if you know what I mean?
All right.
For the record, I don't need consent, if you know what I mean.
That's gonna get you canceled, if you know what I mean.
He even uses his initial response to the allegations to defend Black Griffin.
They seem to see themselves as judge.
Look at this chud. Look at this chud. Look at this fucking chud. Nobody's consenting to sex with that.
Jury and executioner, and launch vicious harassment
Just fucking look at it.
campaigns against multiple online creators, such as Billy Bustup, Prince Whateverer, and Black Griffin.
However,
Okay, I want to say one thing here. Brony Fandoned being a lolly pedo freak does not change Gabe or Saber from what they fucking did. Like, it doesn't change what Gabe and Saber did. Okay? Brony Fandoned also being a fucking freak doesn't mean that they're not. Okay? And honestly, I'm pretty sure their own kind would recognize them before anybody else would. Because a lot of people like to use the fact that Bonk is a fucking waste of space himself to discredit any allegations against Saber or Gabe. And look, three things can be true at once. Saber can be a rapist, Gabe can be a groomer, and Bonk can be a fucking lolicon / pedophile, because that's the same fucking thing. Okay? Okay? Guess what? There's more than one predator that exists on the internet at a time. Magical wild thought. It sucks. We hate it. I know. I wish it were different, but like they don't take turns like in a old fucking kung fu movie.
this isn't my own story to dive into, but I
Also, Nico, well, if someone's intoxicated, they can't give consent. That doesn't, that's not a gender-based thing, so no, essentially, intoxicated men can consent as much as intoxicated women can. Now, unfortunately, the way, juries typically go, the way, this is why most fucking men, don't go to trial, the way the juries tend to lean is that they end up siding with the rapist regardless. Juries will more often than not side with the rapist in male and female cases, and it's much more socially humiliating as a man to be told, no, you weren't raped, and how dare you say you were, in a court than it is, like, for a woman, to be quite honest. So, like, when it goes to court, like, if a drunk guy and a drunk girl hook up, and it's, like, someone decides, like, the cops get involved because they decided it's rape, more often than not, the fact that he's drunk will be completely, like, ignored in court, and that's not right. But no, rape is not a gender-specific thing. Also, guys, don't get drunk and hook up with people, okay? It ain't worth it. A fully cognizant, able to consent and participate partner is much more entertaining, fun, better for both of you, and less damaging overall than one who's fucking drunk out of their mind. Why? Why what, Mark? Why do juries tend to side with the rapist, or why does like the fact that the man was also intoxicated tend to get ignored in court? Yeah, there's a lot of people that believe that there needs to be penetration for rape to count, so a lot of male rape gets ignored. There's a lot of people that believe that if a man gets hard, that means he wants it, and therefore it can't be rape. The jury thing? Dunno. No idea, but I honestly have no clue. But statistically, when rape cases go to court, juries more often than not will side with the rapist. That's why a lot of people, a lot of rape victims, don't really want to go forward. It's why a lot of times, even when they come forward, prosecutors won't go forward, because it's tricky with the legal system, but they would rather not have somebody be found not guilty for something they're potentially guilty for, right? Because of the whole double jeopardy thing. So if they take it to trial and they're found not guilty, well, if any other evidence comes up, or if they do something again, now what happened to the first person, the first trial, can't be used at all. Yeah, the world's fucked. And there's a lot of people who just don't believe that men can be raped because, again, there's the whole, like, the physiological response that your body has. And a lot of people believe that, like, well, no, that wouldn't happen if you didn't want it or if you were, like, in duress or something. And that's just not fucking true at all. I think the juries just side with the rapist because most of them don't think what they did is all that bad. Well, no, see, the problem is living abnormality is when rape cases go to court, it becomes he said, she said, and the defense is always the same for the rapist. It's always the same, and all they have to do is say, it was consensual, and once they say it was consensual, it's really fucking hard to prove it wasn't unless you actually have a recording, like, of your fucking rape. Or something like that. And even if, like, they beat the shit out of you, like, they'll go to court and say it was consensual and that's how they like it. Like, we have rough sex, we like having rough sex, she liked having rough sex, he liked having rough sex. It's fucking trash. And people would rather keep their mouths shut and be right than say something and be wrong. And people would much, like, it's just easier, I guess, in their heads to be like, well, yeah, maybe he's a rapist that went free, but maybe he's not a rapist that went free, as opposed to, like, maybe that's an innocent person in jail, or maybe she's, maybe, I said he, but, again, rape is not gender specific. Like, you know, maybe they're a rapist that went free, but maybe they're also an innocent person that went free, and then until somebody else gets attacked, they don't feel bad about it, as opposed to, oh, maybe I put an innocent person in jail and they're suffering until, like, the next attack. I guess it's a lesser of the two evils situation. It's stupid. But yeah, anyway, back to Emmy's video.
I do hope after this, people can redirect their attention back there, because to this day, he has still not responded to Destiny, and it has been months. Now, with all of this said,
Gabe hasn't responded to anything, and, like, bitch, where's my lawsuit? Where's my cease and desist? Anyway.
Said and done, I do also want to talk about and point out issues I have with how this situation has been handled and other aspects of this situation that I feel need to be talked about. I say that I pulled away from Saber along with getting the time wrong during an investigation, and this is being seen as proof enough of a discrepancy that renders my entire experience fake somehow. Meanwhile, Saber gets the timeline wrong in his interview where he talks about ghosting me for months despite having the text messages in front of him. This is something that was called out by the interviewer, but shows that he too has inconsistencies in his own timeline.
So if this was, I mean, you say you pulled away from her for the next few months, but I mean, because I've seen your DMs with her. Yep. So if you pulled away from her, I mean, it wouldn't be for months, Saber.
Not months. You know. I would say. I mean, I'd say November. No, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm getting my the increments wrong. But I would say for the rest of November.
Oh, he got things wrong. Saber got things wrong. You guys heard him admit to it. He got the increments wrong. He's lying about the whole thing, guys. He's lying about the whole fucking thing because he got something wrong. That's the energy we're bringing to this, remember? He got something wrong. So he's lying about the whole fucking thing for clout. Because that's the energy these bitches wanted to bring to it.
And we'd still text, but I was a lot more reclusive for replying. A lot, not nearly as, enthusiastically, communicative, I would say. I was pulling back a bit. And also it was Christmas time too. We were getting close to the year. And also me working on my documentary with Paleo and us focusing on that. So just didn't really have much time. I didn't talk to her as much, but we still talked. We still talked to each other, just not as much.
This all happened 13 years ago. It's not going to be easy to remember every detail. The only reason I remember the physical event so vividly is because of telling close friends I trusted and therapists about the
So hang on. It went from Saber saying, like, I ghosted her for months to the interviewer going, like, dude, no, you didn't. To being like, okay, well, I didn't, but, like, I did. I cooled off. But, like, we still talked. We still talked for months, but, like, bruh, did you still talk or did you ghost her? Did you pull away or did you not? Were you busy or did you just not want to talk to her? Like, fucking pick one.
experience for years. Again, I've continued to carry on the feelings of being taken advantage of for a long time. If we're going to question inconsistencies in stories, it's important to acknowledge that in Saber's original statement, the takeaway for many was that I wasn't a real person, but rather a fabrication of KP and Bonk.
So
That's another thing that happened. She just wasn't real. So she wasn't real, and then she made it up, and for clout, and then she's lying because she got things wrong, and they character assassinate her, and her response is to not character assassinate Saber, to give him more grace than he fucking deserves, to call out the fact that he did the same shit that they're attacking her for. This is not the behavior and the attitude of somebody who's making shit up for clout. This is the behavior and the attitude of somebody who's processing shit that they went through in their life and wanted to fucking talk about it.
So let's talk about the response video for a second. Because Saberspark more so kind of says that the whole thing was just a giant hit piece on him, which I think is probably the reason why people think you don't exist. But what was your whole, like, thought process just kind of watching his response video, like?
In terms of looking at it from somebody who would be hypothetically a fan of him, wanting to get the truth of, like, what happened, you know, can you speak on this? I don't think it was very good, because it doesn't even really go into it, you know, and I found that to be interesting, that he focused so much on this. He doesn't say it, but I will say it is very heavily implied that this was just a manifestation of KP and Brony Fandom. I was shocked to see that. This implication contributed to Bonk being severely harassed online to the point where it impacted his mental health, which people cheered on, including people Saber himself platformed in his own response. Saber also engaged with tweets suggesting I wasn't real, reinforcing that narrative. Before Saber released his
Buddy, if it was consensual, why were you interacting with the fact that she wasn't real to reinforce the idea that she wasn't real? Totally the actions of an innocent man.
response, posts and documents identifying me as the victim were being removed from his subreddit, and one of his friends had already indicated they knew exactly who I was prior to any public acknowledgement. I also want to point out that he would react and unreact to DMs that he had with Sophie Shrugs, someone uninvolved in the situation, but someone who still supports me and has supported other women who have come forward about other people during these last few weeks to purposely notify her and push their year-old DMs to the top of their messages. Good friends of Saber would email me multiple times claiming he had Skype logs that apparently were kept, while the release messages weren't from Skype and were instead text messages. Still, someone who was very aware of the fact that he had logs. His friends would also wish horrible things to happen to me. Another burner would pretend to be worried about me before my fanbase even found out about this. It was sent around the same period of time the other email.
Oh, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, she can't get fucking sued for defamation. So many people do not understand how defamation works on the internet, okay? Saberspark already had people talking shit about him. Me, I did it. I was one of them for the fact that he was defending Gabe's fucking behavior, okay? Saberspark had enough shit that he did on his own that had people talking that if he tried to take Emmy to court, he would have, like, it would be impossible for him to prove what came off the back of that specifically and what came off the back of his own fucking words, that being his bullshit defense of fucking Gabe. Okay? You need to be able to tie the actual harm that was caused to your reputation to the person you are trying to sue. You can't just be like, she said a thing, and other people are talking about it, and I don't like it, so now I want to sue her, okay? There needs to be provable, substantial, financial harm to his fucking reputation. He's got to be able to prove that it happened. He's got to be able to prove that it happened in the time that she fucking came out, and he's got to be able to directly tie it back to her statements. And at this point, that's going to be damn near impossible because his own response has been atrocious enough that he's thrown himself under the fucking bus. Can I please ask why you're doing this? Asking with love? Because I was involved in this video. Not this video, not Emmy's, but like the fucking... Because I'm involved in this conversation because I was part of the video that started calling out Saber and everybody wants to fucking drag me into the conversation about it, and this video doesn't have enough views. And I say a lot of the shit that people are too afraid to say because they're hiding behind words like allegedly. But yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, Emmy can't be sued. I cannot be sued. KP can't be sued. Gabe, Saber, they got no fucking case. For everyone who keeps talking about being sued, for the same people that say Lily can sue me. No, they can't. And actually, Canada has laws against frivolous lawsuits meant to just drain somebody's bank account, and you get fined heavily for that yourself. So please, I say this as a Canadian, fucking come at me. DM me. I'll give you my address to send the C&D. I'm not going to listen to it, but, you know, then you won't have to get doxed info.
Emails came flooding in. I had to block these emails from coming in because otherwise they wouldn't have stopped. I even removed my email from my Twitter description temporarily, but because this was likely the same friend of Saber's, I still received emails because they already knew my email from sending the previous ones. One person in particular, who was either directly on the investigation team or one of Saber's good friends, would also email me on a burner account attempting to bait me to share personal information and to speak ill of specific people so that they could have the green light to have that particular person speak.
Well, see, that's the funny thing is like people like, oh, he's innocent, he's not guilty because they haven't gone to court. Court of public opinion, bitch. Guilty.
Ill about me for YouTube content. This is something I would later find out was their motive after I spoke to someone directly on the investigation team. They would threaten and lie to me to try scaring me into talking. This same burner email has a Twitter account dedicated to primarily defending Black Griffin and Saberspark, and even used it to harass me further, despite pretending to be a respectful content manager wanting to hear my side of things when in reality it was to further harm me. I didn't feel comfortable speaking ill of certain people, especially to some random burner. Unfortunately, those people came up in my interview and I had to speak on my experience, but tried remaining as amicable as I could while still explaining the context behind the topic because I didn't want to cause conflict for them. And then I remember out of nowhere this burner breaking the facade of being a manager for a creator and suddenly starts typing in the exact same way as the other emails, saying how I messed up and how they don't think I realize what is about to happen to my reputation. While I can understand Saber and his friends believing he did nothing wrong and that I am the one causing him harm, I have not once thought to torment him or his friends directly in this type of way through trying to emotionally manipulate me into talking and just outright harassing me. I just don't understand this behavior. When these kinds of things are shared online, people often feel they need to pick apart testimonials without evidence because there's nothing else to go off of, which I think is a fair thing to conclude, but in many of these situations, these misconceptions bleed into how the accuser is treated. Really, it's hard for anyone to win in these situations because everyone feels the need to take a side or try to come to someone's defense. People want to be fair and not falsely accuse anyone while also wanting to maintain some form of support to the accuser as well. which is why I think sharing your experience to anyone who isn't your friends, family, a therapist, support group, or a professional who is trained in handling these situations will almost always end badly unless you have evidence. Otherwise, you will experience so much stress trying to defend your personal experiences. This is exactly why I initially wanted my involvement with Saber to remain anonymously, especially since people who have a pattern of behaving in a certain way don't tend to change that pattern much. And I felt that if there were more people who have had this experience, then I wanted them to know that they weren't alone. I felt taken advantage of and carried these feelings for a long time. I also feared that there may be more people that could have been put into the same position, or would be put into that same position and feeling the same way I did in silence. Knowing that, I had to step forward in some way and tell someone, even if I didn't initially want it to be known to the public that these were my personal memories. Ultimately, I don't have much evidence. This was never expressed to mobilize people against Saber. In fact, people who cheered on his downfall left my stomach in knots. People were happy that I was put into the situation because it gave people the green light to go after him. It was intended to help people who, like I have, found themselves in a situation they're not equipped to navigate, and who hold regrets all these years later, and to also prove to myself that I can speak up about my experiences. I did try to obtain evidence such as the footage in the elevator when he pushed me against the wall, something that he lied about in his interview.
So I believe her claim was, you pushed her into an elevator and were quite aggressive with her and hurt her. So none of that really occurred, or because
I never was aggressive, and I never hurt her. I don't recall the elevator. I don't know why we would go up to go back down. I do know the bathroom was at the bottom floor, but no, I was never aggressive or pushing her or shoving her.
I never hurt her. I never hurt her. That's not for you to decide, you fat fuck. Also, look at the size of you. Look at the size of her. She was fucking tiny. You didn't have to be aggressive to be intimidating. You towered over her. Your hand is probably the size of her fucking face. Fat fuck.
I unfortunately can't prove he's lying, but I remember the elevator incident vividly. I also don't have the financial resources to spend on recovering old text messages the way that Saber does. In fact, all I could find were messages with friends throughout the last 7 or so years where the situation is referenced, as well as a personal note I wrote in 2023 when I was in a rough emotional state. Just evidence that I continue to cope with the emotional state he left me with. Just like before, Saber had more power in this situation than I do. That hasn't changed. So I know there are many people who still aren't going to be convinced with my experience alone. And that's okay. This video isn't for them. Not many people think to document these situations in the moment because their priority is getting through the situation, and not thinking to grab the evidence. When you feel taken advantage of and don't have the tools or words to navigate the situation, all you can do is carry forward. I want to make sure though that this is clear. I did not see the messages outright until the video came out. They were not shown to me, they were described to me. Some people have questioned my memory, as to them it seems selective. Well, she can remember this thing, but not this other thing?
Wendy bro, I understand.
Yes. If I remember something, it is because I either have spoken about the memory enough, it affected me enough to carry with me, or I have access to things to confirm the memory itself. However, the messages only being described to me left me trying to even visualize the messages at all so I could try to remember them. Still, I tried to speak on them to the best of my ability at the time. These messages didn't leave some sort of crazy impact that left me remembering them all too much. To those suggesting I do remember these messages, I wouldn't knowingly put myself in a position where I'd have to explain my trauma responses to the internet. I'm fully aware of how black and white things are often viewed online, and if I had remembered these messages, I would have chosen to avoid the harassment and victim blaming that inevitably would have followed. Saber claims that we both mutually agreed to be friends with benefits, as in, we are just hooking up, no strings attached.
And eventually we both floated the idea of being friends with benefits and looking at Cantaloupe Gardens as a place.
Where's the proof? Where's the messages? Where's the messages? I find it funny you saved everything and got everything but these ones, you lying sick fuck.
Is where we could potentially hook up.
She seems to have a very specific memory of you saying friends afterwards.
I did say that because, again, the running joke that we had leading up to that was friends with benefits. So we'd say friends. So
Where's the proof? Where's the running joke in all those messages you scrolled through? The amount of time where's the running joke of friends with benefits? I didn't see that in there. I saw you talking about a lot of sexual shit.
So that is something I said.
This is not true. Every time he would stick his hand out and ask friends, I honestly died a little bit inside. I gain absolutely nothing in consistently dealing with intense emotions about this for the last 13 years. But in the messages he shows between us, you see me talking about how he toyed with my emotions. There's even one message where he acknowledges him being the bad guy. Why would I be telling him he toyed with my emotions and talk about how I told other people he toyed with my emotions if I apparently willingly agreed to some kind of friends with benefits agreement? Being friends with benefits means you are choosing to have sex knowing fully well it is strictly casual. These messages help show that aspect of my testimony and help show that his claim doesn't entirely make sense. He toyed with my emotions, literally bringing up the prospects of a relationship both times in person. One time where he's grabbing my hand and then pushing it away. Another thing that he denies in the interview.
I never was aggressive and I never hurt her. I don't recall the elevator. I don't know why we would go up to go back down. Like, I do know the bathroom was at the bottom floor, but no, I was never aggressive or pushing her or shoving her.
So I believe, again, this is circulating. We met in a public space, but no one was around and we talked for a while. He kept bringing up prospects of a starting relationship, but how it felt wrong. He grabbed my hand saying how it felt so right, only to push my hand away saying, but so wrong. Is there any sort of reference there that you can...
Who the fuck is this knob and why is he involved?
think of as to why she'd say something like that?
Like, this absolute fucking bellend here on the fucking screen in the purple. Like, who is this fucking chav?
I don't recall. I don't remember us even talking about being in a relationship.
And then when I think...
I don't recall. I don't recall that. I don't recall that. Yeah, I've only ever heard that in every single guilty fucking interview, police interview footage I've ever seen. Oh, I don't recall committing murder. I don't recall assaulting that person. I don't recall stealing $5,000 worth of things. I don't recall raping her.
Think we are just going to go up to the lobby to hang out in a more public setting because I felt it was to avoid temptation. The moment the elevator shut, he slammed me against the elevator wall and initiated the second time. I couldn't tell you why he decided to go up to go down. For years, I have figured it was to go to a more public space. I was just...
No, he likely... Courtney's speculation station. He likely wanted you in the elevator because that was the only private space he could fucking get you into. So that he could cop a feel and attack you again, because he's a fucking piece of shit. There's jazz music in the background.
Just following his cues without really communicating with him. He would go into how I would spiral and get angry with him, as if he fell victim to me because I was struggling with how he had mistreated me, and I was so conflicted about my emotions with him, and felt I had gone through so much. I admit, I have definitely grown to be
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. You guys keep watching.
Much better communicator in the last several years, but you can even see my complicated feelings bleeding through these messages. Another thing pointed out to me was that I talk about how this was a guy I hardly knew who took advantage of me in the testimony. These messages were used to suggest we actually knew each other really well. Let me be clear that I say this as a woman in her early 30s looking back on a situation from when she was 18 retrospectively. I even have to convince myself I wasn't obsessed with him while going through all of this because you can clearly see that I was a fan of him, confused about everything he put me through. I really didn't know him all that well despite trying to maintain a sense of closeness with him. It's forced and you can clearly see that in the messages. I wanted to be anonymous in the first place for a reason. Coming out and discussing this publicly, especially as a much smaller content creator, leaves me vulnerable and I have little to gain from this discussion at large on a personal level. And the odds were never in my favor sharing these experiences. There was never an incentive to share these intimate details about my life with the internet at large. There were claims that my memory is inaccurate, so therefore my encounter with Saber never happened. Those who wanted to investigate the situation looked very literally on the timeline to try to get a beat on what happened to uncover the full story. I want to refer to herstory.global again and show the misconceptions that we were talking about before. This actually talks about why victims forget things and don't remember exact details. It even uses the term omitting. The original telling of what happened when talking to those investigating the events has minor differences that don't really have anything to do with whether consent was given or not, such as the time things happened and then a relatively brief moment where I saw Saber Spark at a movie theater. I wasn't there with him myself, but went with my friend until I had a panic attack and missed out on the entire screening. It was brief and something I didn't remember because I was having a panic attack at the time, and this brief interaction had nothing to do with the two occurrences. I want to use the time at the second occurrence as an example. When one channel tried to lay out the timeline, I said it happened around 10 p.m. This was me trying to give my absolute best estimate because I knew it happened at night. This particular error had led an entire team of people to believe I was lying about my entire experience. It was later discovered that I did just get the time wrong.
Now, one thing that a lot of people have noticed is that Emily has said the second attack allegedly happened on the 2nd, the day before the convention proper. However, both parties did arrive early. Now, at a point, Saber Spark mentions that his cell phone dies.
Saber, your phone died? Why would it do that?
Plugged it in last night.
Oh.
They only charged for like 30.
He tweets again later that night. Now, this kind of breaks the timeline a bit.
Said your phone died, just forgot to charge it. Whole outfit you're wearing, God, I hope it's ironic. Did you just say you're finished? Didn't know we started. Jesus Christ.
But I do think that we...
It's all just so familiar, baby. What do you call it? Stupid? Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless, but there's a cuter word for it. Man-child. Sorry. It was too good not to.
We need to skip forward a little and establish something immediately, because this thing threw everyone off. Saber Spark's tweet here looks like it was made at November 3rd, at almost 1 in the morning. Now, Emily alleged that the incident happened after 10 p.m., like shortly after 10 p.m. And
that is when I pulled away, emotionally.
You saying friend.
Hang on. I gotta get back to that. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Right here. Okay. Who is this fucking knob? She says it happened at 10 p.m., but at midnight, Saber tweeted that he just blah, 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 blah. Bro, when'd you get your PI license? When'd you pass the bar? I didn't realize you were representing Saber in court. I'm pretty sure investigations like that are for the cops, not for your fucking ass. So, I really love how we have people playing pseudo-police on the internet, and, like, it's totally fine, but the second I call out somebody's, like, grooming behavior for what it is, I am a dangerous predator hunter. Okay, sure.
after 10 p.m., like shortly after 10 p.m., and she alleged that Saber Spark texted her to get her to go down into the hotel's basement. Now, that is a wild time discrepancy of 3 hours where Saber Spark's cell phone was apparently dead. And I'll admit that at this time we had at least heard some version of Emily's controversies, and with this apparent discrepancy, it was not looking good for her. However, Phineas let us...
She's had controversies and she got something wrong by a few hours. That means she's lying, guys. Okay, well, Saber defends grooming tactics and grooming behavior and people preying on children. So, what's that look for him?
all in on something that we all should have figured out a lot sooner. Time zones, you idiots. The time that a tweet is posted shows your local time, not the local time of the sender. So I went into my computer settings, changed it to Anaheim's local time, Emily's action arch.
Is happening from his side too. Details would wind up not mattering when Saber himself confirms both occurrences happening from his side too. In messages, it is shown that Saberspark unfollowed me, which have caused many to believe that this is now a confirmed timeline discrepancy and lie from me because the original testimony says I pulled away from him. But the time I pulled away from him was after those messages. After that conversation, it ended positively, and we would see each other at conventions, and we were amicable, even waving to each other and being really friendly. It wasn't until later that
Wow, she didn't want to directly confront the person who had violated and assaulted her and overpowered and did what they want with her body like twice? That's called survival instinct, guys. When somebody attacks you and then attacks you again, you tend to do things to go out of your way to avoid being attacked a third time.
Made the choice to pull away completely. We were slowly growing a comfortable distance from each other, making that choice easier on me to actively delete his number out of my phone and choosing to avoid him at further events. I believe two people can choose to pull away from the other, but I never meant to imply that I cut the relationship off myself. Maybe I should have though, but I just didn't have the tools or ability to do that at the time. Just like I wasn't able to express or act upon the fact that I felt so taken advantage of by someone I looked up to. That being said, at that particular point, that is when I pulled away, emotionally, finally. That is what I was trying to say when I said that I pulled away from him. I also want to address remarks made by a few others who are suggesting I'm using my health and trauma as a shield against criticism. I want to clarify that I don't use my health challenges or past trauma as a shield against criticism. Instead, I only share my health or experiences so that people may better understand my challenges. And before I say anything further, I want to reiterate that I am open to valid criticism, but people being upset with me talking about an experience and not being able to offer enough proof are not offering me valid criticism. You can choose to still support whoever you want and go about your day. Living with PTSD, health problems, and hypochondria means these experiences are constantly present in my thoughts and affect how I navigate the world, including online spaces. They are almost always at the forefront of my mind. Acknowledging them and talking about them isn't deflection. It's part of being honest about what I'm living with. My intent is never to avoid accountability, but to be understood in the full context of who I am and the experiences that I am choosing to share. Before I saw the video, I genuinely struggled to recall the messages, as they were only described to me, not shown. I immediately felt frustrated with myself for not being able to remember, and because my migraines have been affecting my memory for some time now, my first reaction was to direct that frustration towards my migraines because I know they affected my ability to recall this. This was not an oopsie, well you just can't be mad at me now because I have migraines. That being said, speaking of accountability, I've realized the importance of setting more firm boundaries with myself and my online presence when it comes to sharing deeply personal details. I understand not everyone knows or understands what I'm going through, and without that context, it can seem like I'm bringing up my health or trauma to deflect, which is not the case. Moving forward, I will be more mindful about what I share to protect my peace and avoid misunderstandings. Now I want to talk about Saberspark claiming I lied about having an IUD.
She told me prior to the convention that she
Hang on a second, I am just simply not okay. For context, I want everyone to remember here that Emmy was 18 and had just graduated high school. Now, show of hands, how many 18-year-olds that are just out of high school do you know have an IUD? I'm not saying she doesn't have an IUD, but Saber was how old during this? He was friends with Gabe. We know Gabe was like fucking in his 20s before he even got involved with fucking pony shit. So this man's in his 20s. Yes, Venus, absolutely. So this man's in his 20s and is trying to say that a 18-year-old girl who is his fan and just out of high school told him that she had an IUD and he believed her. No. That didn't fucking happen. Absolutely not. This man talks like he's never seen a tit consensually outside of his mother's when he was breastfeeding. And even then he was probably a biter.
She had an IUD. So I remember asking her about condoms, and she said, don't worry about that. I have an IUD. And that she got it after she had her kid. And I took her word for it. And so we had unprotected sex. So the anxiety started to get me when she told me.
Yeah, most rapists don't have time to put a condom on. They don't really think to. I have to ask, Saber, what made you think it was a good idea to not, or to be a fool and not wrap your tool? What responsible individual who takes anybody's well-being into consideration, least of all the other person, but possibly even their own, sticks his dick in a relatively unidentified hole with no protection? I can tell you what kind. A dumbass and a rapist. Take your pick. Which are you? Both is an option. Maybe she was able to get one by 18 because she had a child already. Maybe. I still don't even think that. Like, I haven't even heard Emmy's side of it yet. And I'm like, that fucking conversation just didn't happen. It just did not happen.
She wasn't getting her period. And I was like, oh my God, is she pregnant? Which is, I'm like, how? You know, with an IUD.
Wait a second. Let me Google something real quick. Come on, phone. Oh my God. This phone is so slow. Yeah, that's what I thought. She stopped getting her period after we had unprotected sex, but she said that she had an IUD. Funny, hormonal IUDs stop your cycle altogether, Saber Spark. So if she had an IUD, then it was likely hormonal, because they don't really do the copper ones too much anymore. She would have been having one to begin with. So yeah, you absolutely had a conversation about that IUD. Yeah, he is about to completely lie about fucking... Yeah, he is out, like, I can see it in the fucking, in the chapters here. He literally is going to outright say she tried to baby trap him.
And also me not finishing.
I first want to start by saying this claim is abysmal. What's crazy is that there is no proof of what he's claiming anywhere.
I mean, I suppose to finish the story of the pregnancy scare, how did that kind of work itself out?
Into the convention on a Sunday. I remember going over to her hotel, being like, I'm like, we have to get this test. Like, I need to know the answer before I head home, so I can...
I'm sorry. Is he trying to say that they hooked up at the beginning of the con, and by the end of the con, she thought she was pregnant? or he thought she was pregnant. Dude, you don't even understand how the fucking female reproductive system works. You don't understand how the human reproductive system works. You don't understand how babies are made. If you had sex only days prior, it wouldn't show up on a pregnancy test. Oh my God. This man knows nothing about sex. And this is him talking about this year. This isn't him talking about it 13 years ago when it fucking happened. Or however long ago, like I'm pretty sure she said it was 13 years. This is him talking about it now. This is how this man talks about reproduction. You don't have superhuman baby batter, bro. And it doesn't matter if you didn't finish. There's live sperm in pre-cum. Oh my God. This guy hasn't even had like a 3rd grade education on sexual health. Holy fuck. No, I'm pretty sure fertilization can happen within 3 days, but the thing is, it's not just fertilization. You've got fertilization, which typically happens somewhere in the fallopian tube, like ovary region, and then the egg has to travel into the fucking uterus, and then it has to implant. And then hormone levels typically reach the point where they can be read by a pregnancy test, but like, somebody agreed to potentially marry this man? We can't hear me? Seriously? Am I not in the right mic? Problem is? No, I'm pretty sure I'm in the right one. Yeah, okay. Yes, he is acting like that happened in like a few days. I just upped my volume anyway. But like, oh my God. There are plenty of fertilized eggs that never make it to a baby. Yeah, like it's and he like there's no way people actually believe this. Right? Like, there's no way people actually believe this. Like, I've been so baffled by the amount of people who are like, Saber's innocent and it's a fake rape claim and it's false rape accusations. And I'm like, are you kidding me? When this is how he responds? I'm so, like, I'm about to disassociate. I don't even have words for the first time. I do not even have words for that level of stupidity. And then what's worse is this fucking bell end here on the screen with him just literally sat there and listened to it and was like, oh yeah, no, this guy didn't rape her. Sorry, what? Okay, let's get through the rest of this.
Know what's going on. I got the pregnancy test, came back, and I'm like, please, can you take this? And she goes, okay, you know, because it was time's up, and she said, okay, I'll do it. And she took it, and it was
time's up. Time is up. What the fuck does that mean? Well, she said yes because time was up. What the fuck does that mean? Elaborate, you chud.
Negative. And I remember afterwards, I was like almost dumbstruck with relief. At that point, I started forming this opinion in my head where I'm like, did she just baby scare me to keep me in her life? That was the emotion.
So you don't understand how the female body works. Shocker. And you think that means somebody wants to keep you in their life. Bro, what? Bro, what? I hope somebody actively bleeds period blood into your fucking mouth.
Emotions surging through my head, along with relief.
The public response to this is honestly understandable. This is a serious and heavily loaded claim. I can understand why people are upset. However, I would never willingly put myself in a situation where I'd become pregnant by someone I had only met 5 to 10 minutes earlier, and then be tied to that person for 18 or more years, regardless of whether I had a crush on him or not. This was a guy whom, throughout most of our friendship, I didn't even call him by his actual name. It wasn't until later, after both occurrences had already happened, that I actually called him Steven. I gave birth a year prior. I was not about to go on that adventure again, especially with a man who I didn't even call by his real name. I wasn't about to put myself in a medically vulnerable position when I was traumatized by my experiences just a year earlier with all things medically related. It was way too soon. I also don't see that message being shown. Women have late periods. There is a part of the interview where he claims to have gone directly to my hotel to essentially make me take a pregnancy test on Sunday, end of the event, just before he went home, implying he went straight to my room.
Into the convention on a Sunday. I remember going over to her hotel, being like, we have to get this test. Like, I need to know the answer before I head home, so I can know what's going on.
There are multiple things wrong with this. He couldn't have gone to my hotel room to do this because we already checked out of our hotel room by noon before the event ended. I even have proof of this in the form of a vlog that we recorded during the time we were there. On Sunday night, we are telling a group of people in a hotel room goodbye and that we were leaving to go back home because we didn't have a room to go back to. There's also footage of us taking
This fucking 20-something-year-old man really, like, he's like, what, 30-something now at least in the fucking thing? This dude's really trying to say, yeah, an 18-year-old fresh out of high school who already had a 1-year-old totally wanted to baby trap me just to keep me in her life. Like, you do understand that a baby is a whole fucking human, right, Saber? Like, it's a whole fucking person. It's a whole, like, 18-plus year commitment, usually more than 18 years in this economy. And you think... You think someone who already has one's just gonna pop out another one? Just for you? Just to keep your fat ass around? Honey, a package of Twinkies would have kept your fat ass around.
taking the stuff we bought from the convention to the car because we didn't have a room anymore.
We're leaving soon, so we're gonna say bye to everyone. Bye, guys. And yeah. We're leaving, so I'm doing a quick vlog to say bye to everyone. Oh, you're leaving? Aww. Say hi and bye. Hello. Best people you can ever meet. They're awesome. Right there. Where are you leaving to? Home.
Now, the way it's worded is strange, and I believe an easy response would be that we somehow did this privately at the hotel in general between the time of the event ending and going to Downtown Disney. However, Saber also states himself in the interview just a minute before this claim that he was too busy to hang out with me during the entire convention, and that the only time he could recall seeing me was at Downtown Disney, which was after the convention.
After the bathroom. What happens then?
So, that was another busy convention. That was the one where they were showing the premiere of the Burning documentary from John Delancey and Michael Brokoff, which was a big deal at the time. So it was a big old crowd-funded thing. It was a work in progress screening, and also the convention was busy, just running around to different panels, also doing more interviews and being involved with the Everfree radio guys. I'd see her at the convention. And she would text me about wanting to hang out, but again, just I was too busy.
If she texted you wanting to hang out, where's the texts? Where's the texts? He's got receipts. Where's the texts? You lying sack of shit. And this dumb bell end that's fucking slobbing his knob, just sucking it up like a good little whore.
I was booked the entire time through, and the only time I can really recall seeing her was when we left. It was in downtown Disney, is where this movie was being screened, the cut of the Brain documentary. When we walked out of the theater screening, and I remember looking to the side, and I saw Emily like leaning against the wall with her friend Sandra.
And he's right. Apart from the screening, the only other time I saw him was when we both just so happened to be in the lobby where we don't even acknowledge each other. Instead, we are just talking to other people in the area. This was Saturday night, and I wasn't there long.
It's a shame you didn't start asking about, what is it, Super Pinky or something?
Hang on a second, let me get a half-decent shot of this fucking mug.
I wasn't there long.
It's a shame you didn't...
Yes, because anybody's gonna baby trap that face. That's not even a face a mother could love. I don't think anybody wants a kid with that fucking face right there. Are you kidding me, dude? Would you... Show of hands in the chat. Who wants to baby trap this? Aw, Courtney, that's mean. You're attacking a guy's appearance. He can't help it. Yeah, well, you know, good personality gets over your... Oh, wait, you don't have one of those either, so I guess you're just fucked, aren't you, bud? Sorry, I don't think rapists deserve kindness. Hideous creature, you are so gross. Of all creation, God hates you the most. Repugnant Muppet, what have you done? If God makes mistakes, you surely are one.
You didn't start asking about, what is it, Super Pinky or something?
Yeah, we need sleep time. Find the cure.
Yes! It's Super Pinky Adventures.
Saberspark? I like how you find your like
Saberspark and Screwball, they had a very extensive conversation.
I've heard about this conversation.
Screwball and I decided we're gonna find the cure of sleep talking. We're gonna stop sleep talking once and for all.
Good!
And just the cat's like, no, go back to sleep.
Apart from that, we didn't really see each other. He also says after the screening that the right people were called to help me and that he and his friends left.
I think we actually called one of the Disney people came over to actually help out because they were like, hey, we actually have like first aid people. But ultimately, we didn't stay around for too long because someone else intervened to help out Emily and Sandra. And then we, were on our way. I remember texting her, being like, let me know if you're okay. But we had to get going because we had other, arrangement we had to take off to. But I do remember her.
Later that night, I was still with people, and there's footage of this. There's also footage of him going to hang out with his friends after the Downtown Disney screening. He also says in the interview himself that he and his friends had other things to do.
Brony's documentary. I wasn't even expecting to see it, and did. So that was one of those moments of glory. Thoughts on it, really, I don't want to say anything because, well, I don't want to say too much. I could probably say a very vague review, but I thought overall it was quite well done. I thought it had some really strong dark, no, not dark, but strong moments in it. They had a Q&A panel.
I got a following? Like, I'm sorry, people are fans of that? God.
Some interesting points were brought up. Good points. This doesn't mean that EQLA, at least...
I'm kind of impressed, like, how do you have no chin and 4 chins at the same time? Like, your head and, like, dude's head looks like somebody's fat thumb.
The life of EQLA is over. I'm right now walking back to the Rainforest Cafe, a cafe which I have eaten at a week ago. And I'm going to be joining guys such as Final Draft, Saberspark, Paleo, Dusty Cat. And I don't actually know who else. That might be it. We just concluded dinner at the Rainforest Cafe. Really good group of us. Everyone here chill out in the room with you. What do you think the answer to that is? Poop.
I just traumatized myself. No, I just traumatized everybody. I'm so sorry. I didn't know this was in here. Oh, this is painful. Like, I'm so baffled. Like, oh my god, people believe this dude. People sided with this dude. Can you imagine, like, being poor Emmy with this over top of you going... Can you imagine? Like, my heart just shatters for that poor girl. And then to have people fucking respond the way they do with like, oh no, this upstanding citizen is clearly innocent, you silly, silly woman. You are just jealous you couldn't have his baby. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to find out Saber's mom and dad are cousins. Hearing a lot of static. Yeah, that's probably feedback from the mic. Which I've not really been able to figure out how to turn down. Sorry. Ah! That's kind of why my mic sits a little bit low, so that the static is not as easy to hear. I want to get back to, like, Emmy. I don't want to listen to them talk.
Well-being. I do also want to point out, mindful about how much information I... And she...
So that's a different story, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's
right.
Why I'm like...
Wait, what? What's this part? Sorry, like I said, I haven't seen all of this video. I don't want to listen to Saber talk anymore.
Make it extremely hard for me to not want to defend my experiences by feeling I need to prove my mental health issues. But if I do that, then I'm using my health as a shield. It isn't an easy thing to navigate through. I shouldn't even have to prove that I actually have these health issues, but the topic of it only grew, and I felt I needed to prove my experiences even more the more people online tried pushing the idea of me faking my illnesses. One person even sent the police to my personal home, using my health topics to weaponize them against me because she believes I am faking them. I had to move apartments because it happened multiple times.
Who's Sarah?
I don't know who Sarah is. She's the one who called us. I'm assuming she's your friend of yours or
I don't know.
someone you know on the social media maybe?
No.
Okay.
So what happened?
This person said that you were mentioning or posting some stuff on social media saying you're sad or depressed or you haven't left your house for a couple of days and all that stuff and you look skinny and you don't want to eat. Again, I'm not sure where it's coming from.
I see.
So they were concerned. That's why they called us.
I understand. So I do have an eating disorder, and I just talk kind of openly about it. And recently, I've been just asking for help about it. Like I've been like fundraising money to like help me with my medical bills.
Okay.
But I appreciate it. I think what's happening is this.
You guys couldn't hear any of that. And this is the kind of shit that this people on Saber's side are defending. Little Saber defenders, this is the kind of shit that you're co-signing and co-opting. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna call in wellness checks on someone you don't know because you don't like the fact that they're calling out their fucking abuser? So, Lizzie Silvis, how many people have you assaulted? Sexually or otherwise? Why are you trying to silence a rape victim? Are you trying to send a message to your own victims? Ooh.
This has now happened to me. This is the third time that someone has been called to my house about, like,
like police or like someone who's someone like cops?
There were 2 times it was cops, and there was 1 time it was a bunch of firefighters showed up. And it
Again,
was...
depending from city to city, they might not respond.
Okay.
Right? Like if you live in LA City or LA County, they have no time for this, so they would not even show up, right?
I think
because
this
it's a
might be a
smaller
prank
agency,
call.
smaller city. I don't think it's a prank call because they're really concerned.
Well, this has happened now a couple times, and I've called the police station before, and they gave me the number, and it's happening by this person. Her name's Elizabeth, and she's been like stalking me, and she.
So that's a different story, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, is it okay if I record this? Because I've been trying to like get her to stop sending people to my house. She's done this.
As long as you know who's called, because we don't know who's calling. They just don't tell us who's called.
I'll probably call.
If you can't deal with things yourself, you're fucking pathetic. You gotta send the cops on a fake wellness check to somebody you don't even know because you don't like what they're saying about somebody else you don't even fucking know. You're fucking pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic. Goof fucking behavior. I don't like that you're talking about your assault, so I'm going to send the police and firefighters to your house. Clearly you don't have enough time in your day to fucking do anything else. Go get a job, you fucking loser.
Call and see if they can verify if it's her again. But yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
As long as you're okay, don't need help. I'll follow her.
No, all good. Thank you.
Why are we assuming and irresponsibly accusing people of this? As stated before, I plan to be more mindful about how much information I share about my struggles. But no one should even feel as though they need to share their medical information in order to defend themselves against harassment and irresponsible misinformation. And Saber doing this only helps fan the flames more to people who feel justified in trying to desperately debunk something as serious as a person's well-being. I do also want to point out that while I have given Saber the benefit of the doubt here, I do find him lying about multiple details such as holding hands to his hotel room, the IUD, the friends with benefits inside joke, me initiating the second time and claiming the elevator part to be completely untrue, to be extremely sketchy. I do feel if he truly believed he was fully innocent in this, he wouldn't feel the need to lie about multiple details. I can't prove some of these lies to be untrue, unfortunately, but hopefully shining a light on at least a few of them helps see a clearer picture. I am a real victim of sexual abuse. While I may not have concrete evidence for this particular incident, I do have evidence for others. I would never undermine my own experiences or those of others by lying about one of these experiences. To do so would only make it harder for all of us to be heard and believed. I want to clarify that nothing I said in the video should be interpreted as a retraction of my previous testimony. I continue to stand by what I shared and reaffirm that I did not give consent. The purpose of those statements was to provide additional context of my side. I wrote the statements in that video to move on and help both parties do so, but I also wrote them before I heard Saber's interview. What I've come to realize is that Saber may not have fully understood the impact of his actions after seeing the messages of me clearly not wanting to rock the boat with him. Reminder, I didn't see these conversations until seeing them publicly released recently, and I was able to reflect on that aspect of the situation, and am only now giving the benefit of the doubt to his intentions. I also want to say that this video's intention was to help all parties move on from the situation. I want to do that more than ever. For the last 3 months, I have been harassed endlessly, cyberstalked, and dehumanized by almost every single person involved and their friends. A literal gallery of rogues have chosen to use this as an opportunity to vindicate themselves from their own horrendous behavior that they are running away from and lying about because they now feel they comfortably can. Even people claiming—
I'm sorry, that was too beautiful. Did the sound cut out for you guys? I really hope not, because I gotta run that.
to help me threw me to the—
Hello? She said the quiet part out loud. Oh my god. I don't know what this means coming from Emmy, but goddamn girl, I'm so proud of you. Hello?
cyberstalked and dehumanized by almost every single person involved and their friends. A literal gallery of rogues have chosen to use this as an opportunity to vindicate themselves from their own horrendous behavior that they are running away from and lying about because they now feel they comfortably can. Even people claiming to help me threw me to the wolves, outed my identity to other people in DMs without my consent, and I was threatened by multiple people. I was told by people claiming they wanted to help me to lay low for the sake of
with my family if I truly loved them. The video's intention to help us all move on is something I stand behind, and my statements were to help all of us, even if I find information suggested in the video to be incorrect. I'm only speaking further now because the harassment has escalated and misinformation is continuing to spread. Thank you to those who are patient with me to hear what I had to say. Ultimately, this is my life and my personal memories, and I have needed time to work through how difficult this entire thing has been. And to those who tried endlessly harassing me into responding immediately about such a difficult situation, no one should have to stay online and force themselves to take harassment and respond on a personal level. Me making the choice to take care of myself and disconnecting is not an implication of guilt. Talking about these things have not been easy. I encourage people not to turn to YouTubers as a source when revealing or uncovering stories like mine. Do not give your personal experiences to content creators in general. This is the first time that I'm actually fully speaking about this with my full chest. If you don't have control of the story, then somebody else will. While many creators mean well and want to discuss serious topics, it's important to remember that they're not trained professionals. They're everyday people making content. This isn't criticism of any specific channel that has covered my situation. I truly believe most are acting with good intentions. That said, I hope my experience can serve as a learning tool for others who feel they've gone through something similar. Awareness and education are vital, but so is handling these topics with care, accuracy, and sensitivity they deserve for all involved parties. Least of all, the nuance required to navigate them. Your experience should never be utilized as entertainment for views or money. At the same time, I want to take accountability for my part in this. By sharing personal details with others, especially anonymously, I unintentionally open the door to speculation and misinterpretation. Moving forward, I plan to be more mindful of the boundaries I set online and with other people I meet online, and especially as related to my personal life. I understand now more than ever the importance of protecting that and my right to a private life. This has been a painful and confusing experience for me, and I know it's complicated. I stand by my feelings and my experiences of what I went through. But I also want to acknowledge that Saberspark may not have fully understood the impact of his actions at the time. I don't think it would be easy to know given my unwillingness to communicate my discomfort and trying to maintain a sense of normality. I want to open a space for honest conversation about enthusiastic consent and respect. Even though I never wish to come forward, I hope talking about everything now can help provide clarity and understanding. Before I end this video, I want to say that I'm also aware that some people are taking advantage of the situation, using this to spread misinformation or fault and accuse me of random and frivolous things. Let me be clear, I'm not giving attention to false or self-serving narratives. This isn't about you, and I'm not going to give life to anyone trying to take a situation I was put into about their own vendettas, most of which are predominantly male ex-people from my life mad I didn't talk to them more than I was comfortable, give them more of my attention than I was willing, or I outright rejected them romantically. Others, I don't even know who they are, claiming to have known me. I'm not going to convince anyone of something that they don't wish to believe, and that's okay. My story isn't a claim, it's a memory. I don't need to be believed to know it happened. Before I end this conversation, I want to link below some helpful resources for those who may need them. During my time away, I actually wound up using some of these resources myself, and they were extremely helpful. Following this video, I'm going to be taking a break from Twitter for a bit. I realized during my break that I felt much happier and more connected without constant online engagement. I want to thank those who have reached out to me recently to check on me and support me in private spaces. I will not be speaking more on the situation and will be returning back to normal content. I'll be continuing my content on Blue Sky and YouTube for the time being, so I look forward to seeing you all in those spaces. Thank you.
So that was her video. Just straight fucking facts at the end. Not gonna lie, my heart breaks for the fucking girl. Fucking breaks for her. It really does. But, and you know, it probably means nothing because it's not like we know each other or anything. But goddamn, I'm so proud with the way she ended that. With her little "fuck you, I don't need you to believe me for this to have happened." Like, fuck yeah. So proud. The best thing you can do in situations where you want to tell your story is to tell your story. She is right. Being your own advocate really is the best thing you can do for yourself. That doesn't mean it's easy. It's not. You can tell by the amount of shit that she got. I get a fucking amount of shit myself. Now, frankly, I deal with less harassment than a lot of people because I don't make, like, sorry, I shouldn't phrase it the way I was about to. Because I'm mean, because I'm aggressive and angry, and people would rather talk about me than to me because they're scared. But, goddamn, I'm so proud of the end of that video. I'm proud of her for the end of that video. Shouldn't have happened in the first place. No, it shouldn't have. And, like, I just want to say, again, she gives him way more grace than he deserves. Somebody who doesn't understand what they did isn't going to lie about it to cover it up. Simply put. If you don't understand what you did was wrong and you think it was fine, you're not going to lie about it. You're going to speak about it plainly. You're not going to make up shit that didn't happen. You're not going to say you have proof when you don't have proof. You're not going to make up stories to character assassinate somebody if what you think happened was consensual actually happened. And Saber made up a lot of shit. That whole fucking story was not a memory like Emmy's. It was a fucking story that he concocted in his head. Be it at the time or later on when he was called out, but he knew exactly what he fucking did. Now I'd love to do the whole thing where a lot of other content creators do, where it's like, oh, go show her support and give her a follow or whatever, but, like, to be quite honest, I'm not gonna exactly go push that, because, just speaking from experience, I know there's a lot of people who followed me off the back of specific videos, or, like, learning about my abuse, and then, like, later on, or not too, like later on, they unfollow because they don't actually like my content, or they don't actually like me. As fun as it is to watch the number go up, it does suck when the number goes down. So I will absolutely say go check out her content, her regularly scheduled content, and if it's something that you enjoy, or think you'd enjoy, or at least find interesting, then absolutely give her the views, give her the clicks, give her the watches, the support. Yeah. But honestly, don't do it out of pity. Go check out her channel, absolutely, give it a skim, and if it's something you like, then yeah, fucking interact and engage with that shit. But don't do it just out of pity, because, I don't know, that stuff's never great, to be quite honest. Pity follows are bleh, to be honest. But, that's the heavy shit I had for today. And, I don't know. What do you guys want to do now? Where is it? Where is it? I wanted to shoot a video with this. I might still do it, even though I've technically... Oh, I used the bubble bar. I can't. I was gonna do a video, because I got the Lush, I don't know if you guys know about Lush Beauty... What are they? I don't know, it's just Lush. The Lush store. They have a subscription box, a monthly subscription box, and I got the August one, and it's, you know, we all scream for ice cream. And it came 2 days ago, came Saturday, and I was so excited for it. I've been waiting all month for it. Because it's all, the subscription box is all, like, exclusive products. Like, it's stuff that they're testing. They're not, like, in stores yet. So you get stuff that aren't even in stores, and scents that they haven't specifically released yet. Woo! So this is the inside of the box. I love the packaging too, like it's always so fun. Alright, that's the outside. I'm reading it already, that's so funny. And then... Ah! Son of a bitch! It's funny because it came with all these packing peanuts, but they're shaped like little stars. And they're made of styrofoam, or they're not made of styrofoam, they're made of cornstarch, so they melt in water. I love Lush, I love them so much. The box just smells good because my, my bubble bar broke. Where's my card? had a card in here that told me everything I got. I got fucking... There's a frozen custard shower jelly. Oh, okay, fine. I'll show you the hair. Oh, can you guys see it there? I redreaded my hair. I have to take it out every 2 weeks or the roots mat. Didn't Saberspark provide evidence to counter her claims? No, he provided one, like a text conversation that proved himself a fucking liar. That's covered in the video. If you missed it, go watch the video. He didn't provide any evidence. He made shit up. They look good. You guys talking about Blur eating the fucking packing peanuts? To be fair, they're cornstarch, okay? So they're safe, at least. Okay, this actually does talk about what's in it. So, what's new? August, a hot month, we hope. And what a better way to cool down than with an ice cream. I love ice cream. Or in this case, yummy custard scented shower jelly shaped as an ice cream. So it's like a little gelatinous blob of shower gel that's shaped like ice cream. And it's scented like yummy custard. And I absolutely love it. Did you know? You might have noticed that we can be very food inspired here at Lush. New Bar is a lovely green soap that captures your imagination as soon as you set eyes on it. It's making you hungry and curious. The New Bar is like a pistachio, pistachio scented soap. There's also an orange creamsicle shower gel. There is a yuzu and cocoa body lotion, which smells amazing. What else is there? There's a strawberry swirl bubble bar, and a chocolate mint bath bomb. I have like 6 different shower gels right now. Oh, there's also a cookie dough scented face scrub. I have like 6 different like body wash products from Lush right now. It's ridiculous. They don't taste good. Well, no, they're not regular packing peanuts. Hello Kitty vomit. They're made out of cornstarch. Just watched a video that did Bluey in the style of 1960s Hanna-Barbera cartoons. That's cool. Smart gay tree bark. For me, it was little bits of eraser. I grew up with like siblings for the most part. I was like forced to eat grass on many occasions. It's very quiet. I don't know what to talk about. I didn't plan this far. It's 10 after 3. I gotta go soon, and I gotta clean stuff and make dinner, but... Sorry, I didn't mean to run into my, microphone there. So I got these things. Actually, I fucking love these. They're so cute. They're literal tokens of appreciation. You guys probably can't read it because like my camera's flipped, but it's literal. It's a literal token of appreciation. I love it. A little card that's just like, hey, thanks for being you. Dead air. Oh God, I remember that. Cornstarch doesn't taste good. I mean, fair. I don't think cornstarch has a taste, does it? How are the voids? The voids are good. For the most part. I don't know, one of the Magic's been kind of upset. She's been very attached to me. Oh, how are you guys? How are you all doing? I'd put on music, but will absolutely get my stream copyright claimed. I might get, well, it's fine if it gets claimed, but I get too many claims and then the video gets blocked. I might get copyright claimed just for singing. Should we play a game? I don't know what game we could play. Quiplash, like, they got rid of their free option. You have to pay for it now. Oh, Mark. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. I'm just looking at the names. She's like, ooh, who's gonna show up in my followers? Cards Against Humanity? Yeah, I mean, I guess we could. I'm trying to think. For some positivity, at least. Yeah, that's... yeah. You guys don't need to watch what I'm doing. A dog humped my leg today. Oh, jeez. Your hamster keeps biting you. He's a Russian dwarf. Well, that's why he keeps biting you. Ba-bum, ba-bum. Hang on, I gotta make sure the NSFW pack is not selected. Where the feck is it? Okay, it must already not be there. Ba-bum-bum-bum-bum. Time limit. Do we want to disable the time limit or do we want to enable it? We'll disable the time limit. We'll go with no time limits. There's the link. Room code is 8553. 8553. That's the room code. Go to, yeah, the link is there. Grunkle Funkle. Hey, what's it going? You missed the serious stuff. We're on to Cards Against Humanity now. Oh, I should probably let you guys see it now, shouldn't I? Whee! I'm a floating head. Again, I would put on music, but I can't. Enjoy your ice cream, Mark. Somebody needs to join, though. Cause I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. My troubles have all gone. Oh, hey, look, there's people. Russian dwarf hamster is sick of your capitalistic BS. We got 3 people. Are we gonna get more? Come on, we can get some more. You guys want to play? Or maybe you don't. Fine. I see how it is. Always be a pickle in my heart. Alright, fine. We'll start the match with the 3 of us. You guys get to see my cards. Keanu Reeves. The quesadilla explosion salad from Chili's. Men discussing their feelings in an emotionally healthy way. The internet. Oh, your internet's doing the thing again. Lame. No idea what you're doing. You just pick the card that you like when it says pick a card. Oh fuck! I gotta decide. Cowboys and Jiro dreams of Cowboys. Cowboys and Gregor are my largest son. Chemical weapons. Cowboys and chemical weapons. Cowboys and Neil Diamond's greatest hits. Cowboys and Gregor, my largest son. Oops. I think I like chemical weapons. Oh yes, the 2-card option is always the best option. Having problems with the clown that followed me home from the grocery store? Try a double murder-suicide barbecue. Having problems with slaughtering innocent civilians? Try being a terrible mother. Having problems with former President George W. Box? Try pretending to have done the reading. I think I like being a terrible mother. This won't be like negotiating with the Vogons. Humans only respond to one thing. Ah! Hitchhiker's Guide reference. Air Canada guidelines now prohibit blank on airplanes. The sweet forbidden meat of the money. The quesadilla explosion. Salad from Chili's. Eat grass, tell me about you please. Well, I grew up with AMAB siblings, so like they would shove like you know, you'd end up face down on the ground and they'd sit on your back and shove grass in your face and tell you that they're not going to let you up until you eat it. Morgan Freeman's voice. Air Canada guidelines now prohibit Morgan Freeman's voice on airplanes. A genetic predisposition for alcoholism. Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman. Koki, you're on fire. Curiosity was put in a safe mode after its has-cams detected. Why am I sticky? Generally having no idea what's going on. Keanu Reeves. Ew, no, I hate that answer. Drinking in the toilet and eating garbage. Aww. I'm gonna go with that one. It's less sexual. No. What is this metric? Pretty sure I'm high right now because I'm absolutely mesmerized by blank. Oh, there was a two. Oh, no, there's a two card option. Always go with the 2-card option. Patient presents with generally having no idea what's going on. Likely a result of the Amish. Oh no, Nico, you must be very, very new here. I don't have a good relationship with my family. Patient presents with true love's kiss, likely a result of breastfeeding in public like a radiant earth goddess. Ew, what? The color puce. Likely a result of poopy diapers. I mean, puce and poopy actually goes pretty well together. Generally having no idea what's going on. Likely a result of the Amish. That was a good one. Oh, 2-card option. No, it's gonna pick a random one. What is there a ton of in heaven? Ew, lactation. Men discussing their feelings in an emotionally healthy way. Party Mexicans? Critical thinking. No, I'm party Mexicans, 100%. I won. New from Patel. It's blank Barbie. What the fuck's actually going on here? We're playing Cards Against Humanity. Me and, 2 other people. Oh god, no. It's opposable thumbs Barbie. New from Mattel, it's opposable thumbs Barbie. Oh no, my internet. Eating an albino Barbie, oh my god. It's Republicans Barbie. I don't know why that one's funnier to me, it's just funnier to say. It's Republicans Barbie, you see, it's funny to say. Oh, there's 2 blank ones. Blank, brought to you by blank. Yep, okay. We're all in agreement. Synergistic management solutions brought to you by Mike Pence. No! Whipping it out brought to you by Mike Pence. Love it. Sucking all the milk out of a yak brought to you by Freeing Willy. Oh, no. The violation of your most basic human rights brought to you by Disco Mussolini. Ah! Disco Mussolini. Whipping it out brought to you by Mike Pence. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Words. Judge Judy. Oh, yeah, I snorted. Ooh, score weed. Okay, here's the pitch. James Franco and Seth Rogen are trying to score some weed, and then blank happens. And then the penny whistle solo from My Heart Will Go On happens. Judge Judy. The Hustle? Oh no, alright, we're going with that one. Total fucking chaos happens. Elderly Japanese men happens. Total fucking chaos. That is a movie already. James Franco and Seth Rogen. Go with elderly Japanese men. That's not the right song, Mark. But weed killed my grandma. No, it killed my uncle. Singing killed my grandma. I am become blank, destroyer of blank. I am become Judge Judy, destroyer of the American dream. I love this. So fun. Cannot vote for yourself. I should be able to. I am become huge biceps, destroyer of everything. I am become emotional baggage, destroyer of eating too many Cinnabons, then vomiting, then eating the vomit. Oh no. It has me until the end there. We'll go with huge biceps. Did you know our college was recently named #1 school for blank? Coming to Red Lobster this month. Ooh, no. I got 99 problems, but blank ain't one. no. Oh god. So many, oh, there's so many good ones. Seeing my village burned and my family slaughtered before my eyes ain't one. A stack of buddies in a trench coat. Survivors killed. Oh my god, I choked on my own spit on that one. Oh, sorry. Surprisingly, I won. Wow. Woo. No. New room code. That's the room code. We'll do another one, and then I probably should get some chores done. One more round. H-O-T-T-O-G-O. You can take me hard to go. Connect already. I'm just a floating head. That's all. I'm tired. I might nap after this, actually. No, I already napped today. I might take another nap all the same. I don't care. Naps are my favorite. Someone else come play with us. Come on, I need at least one more player to start the round. Sorry, the boyfriend messaged. I don't know that song, Mark. Otherwise, I'd sing it. I'll give it a minute. I'll give it a few minutes. I'll let some other people come in. Now I got Hot to Go stuck in my head. That's okay. I'll get off stream and boyfriend. I'll get off stream and put on a bunch of K-pop. Who's EmuEmi? She is the girl who was raped by Saberspark. You're trying? All right. I'll give it time. Hailstorm. We'll let you have a fair chance with your internet. She's the girl who was raped by Saberspark that everybody is saying is a liar. Ooh. Ooh. I got freeze-dried cotton candy ice cream. Ooh. Well, I don't have it right now, but it's coming to me. I wonder where that came from. Oh, you didn't even know that happened? Yeah, the information, I think, first kind of, like, she released a statement. I know KP covered it in a video that didn't go over well. And she took it down within, like, an hour or two of it being up. Because it wasn't received well. And then from there, the situation snowballed into everybody and their fucking dog jumping out of the woodwork to interview Saberspark and conclude that Emmy was apparently making it up and lying, and she apparently also tried to baby trap Saber and all this disgusting shit that you would expect to hear from a fucking accused rapist. That just sounds like he's making shit up because he doesn't know what to say because he fucking assaulted a girl. So she finally took her, you know, her own situation into her own hands and put out a video about, you know, what she went through and everything she dealt with on top of it. And yeah, we watched that video. Alright, I'm sorry, Hailstorm, I really am. Your internet does not like you. My dead son's baseball glove, okay? Pure Moods, Volume 1. The Dentist. Spending lots of money. Red Hot Chili Peppers. RoboCop. Making it look like a suicide. An old guy who's almost dead. That's some cards we got. What's wrong with these gorillas? Oh. The Dentist. No. RoboCop? RoboCop. Freeze-dried ice cream like the spacemen eat. Quacking like a duck in lieu of a cognate argument. I can read words. Natural selection. Top dancer like there's. Nah, I'm going natural selection. That made me giggle. I don't know why I did, but it did. Nice. Oh, always go for a twofer. I'm gonna slide this down slightly. You guys don't necessarily need to see my cards. Oprah's book for the month is Blank for Blank, A Story of Hope. Oh god, it's dark. Making a friend. Oprah's book of the month is Making a Friend for Freeing Willie, a story of hope. Oprah's book of the month is Watching You Die for a Horde of Vikings, a story of hope. Oprah's book of the month is Sitting in a Jar of Vinegar All Night Because I Am Pickle for Feeling Bloaty and Crampy, a story of hope. And Oprah's book of the month is My Dead Son's Baseball Glove for Making It Look Like a Suicide, a story of hope. I kinda like this one. I didn't do it, of course I didn't. She's a liar. Who thought it was a good idea to interview a rapist? Yeah, I know. Bunch of chuds. Ask your doctor about Zoloft. The way the world ends is this way, not with a big bang. Not with a bang, but with intimacy problems. I don't know why I entertain myself so much. It's not that funny, but it is to me. Whatever you wish, mother. Intimacy problems. Matching with mom on Tinder. Oh my god, yeah, that's the way the world ends. I won! Blank will never be the same after blank. This is just relatively true. Girls will never be the same after deregulating the mortgage market. Okay. A tiny horse will never be the same after getting caught by the police and going to jail. That's true. Trevor, the world's greatest boyfriend, will never be the same after 2 shitty kids and a garbage husband. This is true. Systems and policies designed to preserve centuries-old power structures will never be the same after an old guy who's almost dead. Can you guys tell who I meant that about? See you later, Mark. Have a good one. Hope you had a good ice cream. Excuse me. This one. A tiny horse. I feel bad for Trevor, right? Excuse me, waiter. Could you take this back? This soup tastes like blank. Scientology. This soup tastes like Scientology. So weird to me because I remember Saberspark reviewing things that depicted abuse, so he clearly knows it's wrong. It's what makes it worse. Yes, 100%. Excuse me, waiter. Could you take this back? This soup tastes like ironically bowling a trucker hat than ironically being a trucker for 38 years. This soup tastes like Survivor's Guild. The Hellman's Mayonnaise Corporation. Scientology. No, Survivor's Guild. I think that's gonna get me every time. So good. The Hellman's Mayonnaise Corporation. Fair. My mom freaked out when she looked at my browser history and found blank.com/blank. Do. My mom freaked out when she looked at my browser history and found puremoodsvolume1.com/a man with yoga pants with a ponytail and feather earrings. I'd freak out too, because that's a very specific search. What's going on? Do you have to tell me something? RonaldReagan.com/the Jews. Doingcrimes.com/Blackula. CaribbeanJesus.com/a sandwich with Cheetos in it. No, Ronald Reagan/the Jews. That's funny. Oh, I won. Nice. Legend had it that Prince wouldn't perform without blank in his dressing room. Judge Judy. The Hamburglar! Oh, so many good options. Oh, a monkey smoking a cigar. No, Judge Judy. Judge Judy's better. Without nothing in his dressing room. The Dalai Lama slamming a dunk in his dressing room. No, I like that. Slamming a dunk. Itchy. Judge Judy. I'm on a roll, damn. But before I kill you, Mr. Bond, I must show you blank. The amount of people harassing this poor girl over brony YouTuber is gross to see. Yeah, like to the point they're actually like sending the cops to her house is disgusting. A monkey smoking a cigar. Hillary Clinton. I should have said Hillary Clinton. Eating 3 sleeves of Chips Ahoy. Oh, that's just regular, you know. A micro pig wearing a tiny raincoat and booties. Oh, that's better than a monkey smoking a cigar. Party Mexicans! Oh, I'm torn between the micro pig and the party Mexicans. Probably the micro pig. Sorry, party Mexicans. Good job, Venus. You won it with the micro pig. A woman's perspective. Well, I'm like, just gonna dump that. That's fine. This one. That one. Yeah. Whee! Getting this party started. Bosnian chicken farmers. Blank, that was so metal. What gives me uncontrollable gas? The new Chevy Tahoe with the power and space to take blank everywhere you go. Oh, I'm torn. What do I want? Uncontrollable gas. The Hamburglar. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. No, that works on more than one level. It's so dumb, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. Parasocial relationships are as fascinating as they are horrifying. That's true. Estrogen. No, that was too real. Slowly evaporating. A thermonuclear detonation. Oh, I gotta go with estrogen because where's the lie? Venus, I knew that one came from you. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. Mom's to-do list. Buy groceries, clean up blank, soccer practice. Clean up Hillary Clinton. Buy groceries, clean up Hillary Clinton, soccer practice. I don't know why I entertain myself so much, but I mean, welcome to my life. I laugh a lot, mostly at myself. Justin Trudeau. Oh my god, no! Same brainwave. Same brain cell. Puberty. Gross. Child beauty pageant. I gotta go with Justin Trudeau because same brainwave. Venus, was that you again? I bet that was Venus. Hillary Clinton, yep. Woo, I'm level 2. Oh, I'm level 3 now, look at that. We'll do one more. One more. That was fun. That's just the room code if you're already in. You was clean up childhood beauty pageants? He was. They really are. That's why I always cringe whenever I hear YouTube calling her their audience anything that can cause attachment. Like, they're strangers on the internet, not your friend. That's why I will, like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate you guys. It's the fact that you are my following, and the only reason I make money on YouTube is because you guys are following me, and I appreciate that. You'll never not hear me reminding you that, like, all things considered, we don't fucking know each other. We're fucking strangers. Words. In reality, my opinion should matter as much to you as any other random strangers would, and that should be, like, next to zero, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that some of you, put have my opinion in higher esteem. It's very flattering, but I am just a random a stranger on the internet that you've seen a portion of my life from, and you see little bits that is almost always me being angry and blah blah blah. We don't know each other. I like you guys as far as we, anyone can like an internet stranger, but I can't say we're friends because we don't know each other. I am just a guy. Radical Islamic terrorism. Oh my god, Cards Against Humanity. What are you doing? This isn't officially Cards Against Humanity, but still. Art isn't just painting in a stuffy museum. Art is alive. Art is radical Islamic terrorism! I'm sorry, I had to. Art is spending lots of money. Art is Barack Obama. Art is a boo-boo. We'll go with this one. Oh, boo, good job, Venus. You got it. Ooh, a twofer. If God didn't want us to enjoy blank, he wouldn't have given us blank. I should have saved radical Islamic terrorism. Shit. If God didn't want us to enjoy seeing my father cry, he wouldn't have given us my soul. It doesn't exactly make sense, but it does at the same time. That one's just for me. It's okay, guys. You don't have to vote for that. If God didn't want us to enjoy homeless people, he wouldn't have given us pumping out a baby every 9 months. Whoa. If God didn't want us to enjoy binging and purging, he wouldn't have given us the quesadilla explosion salad from Chili's. No! Oh, these are amazing. If God didn't want us to enjoy a long business meeting with no obvious purpose, he wouldn't have given us puppies. Oh god, I'm so torn between 1 and 2. Those are beautiful. Oh, it's probably binging and purging. Oh, chef's kiss. No notes. Fucking, that's amazing. Good job, Koki. That was great. Dude, do not go in the bathroom. There's blank in there. That was the chair, I swear to God, if you guys even heard that. Intimacy problems. I mean, a surprising amount of hair works. That's gross. There's getting really worried about global warming for a few seconds in there. There's a pinata full of scorpions. Oh god. A creepy child singing a nursery rhyme. No, no, thank you. I will hold it. Yeah, nice. The nonsensical answer possibilities for what's my secret power. Daddy's credit card. Seething with quiet resentment. Intimacy problems. Oh shit, I didn't read that. Daddy going away forever. Please, please make it happen. Batman. Winking at old people. Nah, I gotta go with Batman. Daddy going away forever. Nice. Now on Netflix. Jiro, Dreams of Blank. Ah, two first. Dear sir, about we regret to inform you that the office of Blank has declined your request for Blank. The office of Daddy's credit card has declined your request for a reason not to commit suicide. So dark. The office of the black half of Barack Obama has denied your request for solving problems with violence. I mean, the office of my ex-wife has denied your request for an AK-47. Mood. The office of William Shatner has denied your request for a big old plate of fettuccine Alfredo. Why did it have to be a big old plate? A reason not to commit suicide. Blank. Brought to you by Blank. Brought to you by Seething with Quiet Resentment. Maybe? Yes, I think. Yeah, it's too late. Have a good nap, Grunklefunkle. Oh no, that one's mine. Throwing a baby, baby dolphin back into the ocean with a perfect spiral. Brought to you by Seething with Quiet Resentment. A hug, brought to you by Insatiable Bloodlust. A mime having a stroke. Brought to you by a heart that is 2 sizes too small and therefore cannot pump an adequate amount of blood. Oh no! The J15 Patriot ass salt box, brought to you by Emotions. The poor mime. That one's so medically accurate. Oh my god, Koki. This is amazing. I love this game. My body, my voice, blank my choice. Oh, how did I lose my virginity? Yeah, fuck it. That's how, fuck it. Agriculture. The new Radiohead album. Oh god, making a pouty face. Shut up, Courtney. Shut up. How did I lose my virginity? Reading The Hobbit under the covers while mom and dad screamed at each. Okay. Trauma. Getting teabagged by a 5th grader in Call of Duty. I'm not sure that counts. Inappropriate yodeling. I don't like any of those. All of us were so uncomfortable, we went with inappropriate yodeling. Ooh, a twofer. And introducing the amazing superhero sidekick duo, it's blank and blank. Maybe, yes. There we go. What are we at? Right at even spread? Yeah. Introducing the amazing superhero sidekick duo. It's an empowered woman and all these decorative pillows. Where's the lie, though? It's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and Mitt Romney's 8 sons. Rip Sam. Oh my god. It's the Wi-Fi password and Hillary Clinton's emails. Oh! Shots fired. Shots fired. All these decorative pillows. I mean, where's the lie, though? After this round, I have to go. I have to do stuff. Gotta clean my house. Poverty. Caribbean Jesus. Wait, what? Why am I sticky? Poverty. Why am I sticky? Poverty. Sudden poop explosion disease. Oh god. Ryan Gosling riding on a white horse. Oh. Whatever a McRib is made of. No, that was funny. I like that one. Nice. Good job, Venus. Ooh, a threefer. I've never seen a threefer. You guys, I saw this crazy movie last night. It opens on blank, and then there's some stuff about blank, and then it ends with blank. Aw, guys. Lame. Oh, God. Hey, baby, come back to my place, and I'll show you the violation of our most basic human rights. Why is that entertaining me so much? The peaceful and non-threatening rise of China? No, that sounds too suggestive. I may swear and talk about hard topics, but like, I don't do suggestive on this channel. At least I try not to. There's no point in doing it. Hey baby, come back to my place and I'll show you throwing your hands in the air and waving them waving them despite caring deeply. Slapping a racist old lady, and an ability to form meaningful relationships. No, I like this one. Throwing your hands in the air and waving them despite caring deeply. And an ability to form meaningful relationships. I mean, that's just reality. Blank, it's a trap. Oprah, it's a trap. Caribbean Jesus, it's a trap. Boop, boop, boop. A much younger woman, it's a trap. Oh my god. Eating a pizza that's lying on the street to gain help, it's a trap. Yes, it is. Mom's new boyfriend. Mom's new boyfriend, it's a trap. That was great. In the seventh circle of hell, sinners must endure blank for all eternity. I'm the odd one out. Loving you is easy because you're Jennifer Lawrence. because you're because you're mild autism. Because you're Santa Claus. Because you're ripping open a man's chest and pulling out his still beating heart. Go with mild autism. That last one took a turn. Jennifer Lawrence. We're all tied. If you can't be with the one you love blank. Behind every man, powerful man, is blank. Best you go back where you came from now. We don't take kindly to blank in these parts. Best you go back to where you came from now. We don't take too kindly to former President George W. Bush in these parts. It says former President George W. Box, but that's also because it's it's kind of like a knockoff of Cards Against Humanity, so they probably can't actually use his name. We know that's supposed to say Bush. Best you go back to where you came from now. We don't take too kindly to pretending to be one of the guys but actually being the Spider God in these parts. We don't take too kindly to spectacular abs in these parts. We don't take too kindly to the inevitable heat death of the universe in these. We don't take too kindly to science in these here parts. I love that. That's right, I killed blank. How do you ask? How, you ask? Blank. I can read. How to talk to your child about blank. Oh god. That's right, I killed Oprah. How, you ask? Agriculture. No, weed elemental. No. Well, no. That's right, I killed a salad for men that's made of metal. How, you ask? Vehicular manslaughter. I figure that's how you make it. That's right, I killed a joyless vegan party. How, you ask? The prunes I've been saving for you in my armpits. Oh, yeah, that would ruin a party. That's right, I ruined kale farts. How, you ask? Super yoga. That's right, I killed Oprah. How, you ask? Agriculture. Like vehicular manslaughter, that kind of got me. Oh, nice. Who blasphemes and bubbles at the center of all infinity, whose name no lips dare speak aloud, and who gnaws hungrily in an inconceivable unlightened. What? I don't even know what that other one's supposed to say. The South. I don't know what. Okay, fine. No, the South. Doctor, you've gone too far. The human body wasn't meant to withstand that amount of the South. You've gone too far. The human body wasn't meant to withstand that amount of pretending to care. The human body wasn't meant to withstand that amount of tapping Sarah Angel. The human body wasn't meant to withstand that amount of science. Oh, so funny. And yes, I have to read them out. It entertains me more. Oh, look, we're almost tied. Like, this is the longest round. You got bad cards. So yeah, they are kind of, mine aren't really great right now either. Honey, I have a new roleplay I want to try tonight. You can be blank and I'll be blank. Okie dokie. Honey, I have a new roleplay I want to try tonight. Oh, hang on. You can be everything, and I'll be a weed elemental who gets everyone high. I have a new roleplay I want to try tonight. You can be restoring Germany to its former glory, and I'll be the bombing of Nagasaki. Oh my god. You can be the Hellman's Mayonnaise Corporation, and I'll be a really cool hat. You can be the land of chocolate, and I'll be stuffing a child's face with Fun Dip until he starts having fun. What? I like this. A really cool hat. Oh, we're all tied. We're all tied for first. Right, no, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. Maybe that one. Okay. This is it. This is the next winner. The next round wins. Winner take all. Oh. What are we gonna pick? What are we gonna pick? Hannah Montana struggles. Okay, yeah, that's the one we'll go for. Sorry. Oh, poor Brandon, still living in his parents' basement. I hear he never got over blank. I hear he never got over faking a jellyfish sting so someone will pee on you. No, postpartum! No, I can't decide. No, fuck it. We'll go with the first one. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I keep changing my mind. I hear he never got over Arnold Schwarzenegger. I hear he never got over a box within a box. I hear he never got over no longer finding any cards against humanity card funny. Oh no. I heard he never got over pooping in a leotard and hoping no one notices. Same brain cell. Oh my god, Georgia, same brain cell. That was amazing. Congratulations. Wow, that one took 20 minutes. That was close. Bro, you still streaming? I'm ending it now. You just came back and like we just finished the last round I was gonna do of that. Cause I have to start dinner. I have to do laundry and clean my house. Good job, Georgia. You won. That was a close round though. We were like just like completely matched the whole way up. It was a good game. We should do that again. What am I doing tomorrow? No, I'm busy tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow afternoon we'll play some more, depending on what time I get home. I got summer camp, as my friend calls it, so it's not summer camp. It's a fucking program I'm doing. But anyway, I had fun with you guys. Like I said before, by all means, go check out Emmy's channel. Check out her like typical regular content, and if it's something you're interested in seeing more of, give her clicks, give her views, give her a subscribe. Frankly, pity subscribes really don't do anybody any favors, so I wouldn't really bother with saying, well, go subscribe just because she's gone through shit. Because I mean, she wants to kind of somewhat fade back into what she was before, so too much attention for the wrong reasons isn't gonna help that at all. But anyway, other than that, Emmy, I believe you. I stand with you. I've always believed you, and keep on keeping on, girl. You guys are great. Smooches. Smooch. Hearts. You know, from an internet stranger that really should mean nothing. I don't know what to do at the end of these. I just filibustered. I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye.